Everybody, it's Ant Andrews here, also known as IBD Fitness. I'm in with my man Moeed today on the Puff podcast. We're going to be talking about everything IBD related, food, life, love, fitness, sickness, surgeries, everything. I'm absolutely buzzing for this with my man. I've known him for so long. It's going to be a great project to get started. Over to you, bro.
Sick, man. You're gassing me up too much, bro. So, yes, this is the second episode of the Puff podcast with my guy, and also known as IBD Fitness. As you have already guessed and probably deciphered, that we're going to be talking a little bit about IBD. As I mentioned in the first episode, I live with something called Crohn's Disease, and you got colitis, right?
That's it, man, yeah.
Ulcerative Colitis. So they're very similar conditions in that they affect your digestive system, and they can have a really debilitating effect on your life, your day-to-day life. They're slightly different in that Crohn's affects your entire digestive system, from your mouth to your butt. Or your anus.
Your rectum.
Whereas colitis, as in the name, is specifically targeting your colon.
That's it.
Am I correct?
That's it, mate. You're a doctor. I didn't know you were a doctor.
I'm a doctor, bruv. Yeah, them internet doctors, bruv. So, let's. How did we meet?
We met. We met actually saying literally 2 years ago. We met 2 years ago at an Crohn's event.
But were we friends on Instagram already?
I think we started. I don't think we were. I think literally we met on that day, and you were one of the first people I met, because obviously I met James and Tony. James' mum Julie. Big up, Shout out to Julie as well. Julie never gets enough.
Julie.
Yeah, they did an event up in. It was an O2 Academy.
It was OT.
Event.
No, it was in that O2 space in Hoxton.
Yeah.
It's in Hoxton Square.
And you were there. Lois was there. Ed was there.
That's where I met them all.
Man. That's where we
met.
Man
like Ed, shout out.
Yeah, he's doing well now. He's doing quite well with his acting.
Yeah, his acting's going really well. Yeah. So that event, shout out to the guys, Tony and James who organised the Crohn's event. It was just like an event to kind of like bring the community together, because there's lots of people from around the UK who are living with this condition who don't really share their experiences. And I definitely feel like when you're able to speak to someone about going through something and they can relate to it, it does help ease your journey. So like me and Ant have been in conversation for the past 2 years. Since that the event, and that's the beauty about such things, that you make contacts, you meet people, and it kind of just flourishes from there, and you kind of like follow each other's journey, and you can offer support when you need to, or say well done when you need to, and receive it at the same time.
It's the biggest thing though, is when like you get diagnosed with something like this, you just feel isolated and alone. So to have a community when you can actually go and chat to individuals, and they're like, yeah, I'm going through the same thing, and these are my experiences from it. You pick up so much like useful tips and various other bits and pieces. So honestly, it's been a pleasure meeting you, man. And you've invited me on today for this podcast, man.
Of course, bro, man. Like this is. So like I said, I'm trying to build a platform on the Puff podcast where people can come on and share their experiences, good and bad. So other people can learn from that,
man,
and take things from it, because again, you're not alone. People are going through the same thing you're going through. People are experiencing the same thing, and of course, it's great that your family are around. But if they haven't been through the same thing as you, it's very difficult to kind of offer that kind of support. So
it's even harder as well when you can't actually see the illness, and that's the problem.
And obviously, IBD is also known as an invisible illness because there are no obvious symptoms. It's all internal.
Exactly. So you can look great on the outside. Like a couple of weeks ago, literally had a really bad flare up. Had like first day off in work I've had in absolutely ages. Came back in like a couple of days later, and everyone's like, "Oh, Ant, you look great." Like,
exactly.
Yeah, I look great inside. No, mate. It's all
but it's just a bit of not ignorance. It's just that they obviously want to try and support you, saying, "Oh, you still look good."
Yeah,
but they can't. Obviously, they haven't been through it. They don't understand. It's very difficult to understand.
Well, how can you understand something you can't see? And unless you've gone through it and you're feeling that pain and various other bits and pieces.
Trust me.
That debilitating feeling of, give me 2 seconds, mate, I've got to run off.
Fam.
Do you see what I mean?
Trust me. I got some, bruv. some mad stories, bruv.
Oh, mate, we've all been there.
We've all been mad stories.
But then that's the point. Share those stories.
Exactly, yeah.
Because then people will laugh at it and be like, actually, mine ain't too bad.
It brings a human level, human touch to it. Because again, you aren't alone in this. So let's take it back now. So teenage Ant or whatever. When was like the first time you kind of experienced IBD symptoms? What are IBD symptoms, just for people who may not know?
So I mean, if people don't really know, typically, like the majority of things are going to be like diarrhea, blood, cramping around your stomach, abdomen area, those sorts of bits and pieces. Those are sort of the main things that are put into the forefront. But there's all the other bits and pieces that come off the back of it, like chronic fatigue, constantly feeling like just drained of all energy, not being allowed or able to eat what the food you want to eat, the stuff you love. And then like the sort of social and mental side of it, lots of people get anxiety and depression, especially when you're first going through these symptoms and you're going to doctors and they're saying to you, yeah, but it's probably your diet, or you're drinking too much, or you just need to have some Imodium and you'll be fine. And when you aren't getting those answers, it makes you more and more frustrated and angry and depressed. And then, if you're then isolated and you don't have a support network, it's really going to affect your mental health because your physical health is infected.
Trust me, bro. Like, you saying all that stuff as well, I think the diagnosis kind of method has improved a lot over the past 10 years. But I remember, like, I got diagnosed when I was 19.
When were you diagnosed?
When I was 19. So this was about... 2011 or something? 2010, 11. So I'm 28 now. So like it'll be 10 years in February.
2009.
Yeah. So just before me.
Yeah, just.
Literally. So I remember I got diagnosed and then I did my own research into like the symptoms and stuff. And I was like, I've had this since I was like 11 years old, bro.
Really?
But I've been on like random medications. Like I used to get lacerations in my mouth.
Wow.
Like where to the point where I couldn't eat anything because it was so painful just chewing.
So what sort of happened when you were 11? Like what happened? Like was it?
Bruv, I used to pass blood basically.
Yeah.
And I didn't know what was going on, man. I was like, yo, obviously I'm 11 years old, fam. Like I just want potato smileys and like fish fingers, man. That's what I'm thinking of.
Finders crispy pancakes.
So yeah, and then I didn't know what was going on. You just kind of learn to deal with it because you're a kid.
Yeah.
Obviously, I'm guessing my parents at the time were a bit more worried than I was. And then, I used to had to apply this cream and stuff. And then after a couple of years, it disappeared. And then when I was in my 13, 14, 15 years old, I used to get these like lacerations in my mouth to the point where like deep, I'm talking like deep cuts on the inside and on the outside of my gums. Yeah. And then I had to put some stuff on that. And then it disappeared from the age of like 15, 16 until like I was 19. And that's when it hit me like with a bang in my abs, in my small intestine, or the ileum more specifically. So like the joint
you
between the
are
large and
Dr.
small
Google. Look at you, man.
Bruv, I haven't had an appointment in time, but you just remember all this stuff.
No, you do,
like you kind of repress it and then it just comes out when you need it. So then, when I was doing research, I was like, hold up, bruv, I've had these symptoms for time. It's just like they couldn't never diagnose it. And I was on these other random medications that probably didn't do anything.
What was it like for you then when you were like 11, 12, 13, 14, like especially going through school and stuff like that? Like that must be difficult in itself, especially like those teenage years when you're wanting to go out and...
I think it never really stopped me because I hadn't had the serious symptoms yet. It was the point where I had to like run to the bathroom. It was more of an inconvenience initially, and then when I got a bit older, when it started affecting my gums, that's when people could kind of see something because my mouth would be a bit swollen. I got a so-called Jay-Z lip. My lip went mad fat, bro, for about 6 months. So I was like, had like a fat slug of a lip. So it was a bit crazy. And then again, you just learn to adapt, of course, because you're a kid in school. You just want to play football. You just want to eat what you want. You just want to chill. It's
all right. Wenger's going to still come sign you. Well, not anymore, but anyway.
Man like Wenger. Nah, he's gone now, bruv. Unai at the forefront.
Yeah, he's going to go. You watch.
Nah, man, come on. Top four this season.
Same as every season, then you'll be you'll finish behind Chelsea and we won't buy anyone.
Arsenal, Liverpool today as well, man. That's going to be a madness.
Hey, you'll win that.
Hopefully. When this comes out, it'll be a couple of weeks after, bro. So people will know.
You heard it here first. 2-1 Arsenal. Unbelievable tackles.
Is it? Pepe to score his first goal for Arsenal. Nicolas Pepe. And
there'll be a penalty. Salah will get sent off. Why not?
Is it?
Why not? Let's just have it.
Everything's going mad, dude. So yeah, bruv, it was just mad. So again, when I got diagnosed, I was 19. I went to the hospital, and obviously you have a bit of naivety. You're like, okay, cool. What's the cure? Yeah. Then she's like, well, there's no cure right now.
What was that like? Right, excuse the pun. What was that like to digest?
To
my camera.
It sucked a little bit, to be honest, of course. But again, when you're in the moment, you don't really think about these things. You don't have time to digest them. You just got okay, cool. What do I do now? And I remember when I originally got my diagnosis, there was like a year of just like denial. Yeah. Where I just carried on living my university life, and then I just got worse, way worse. Like I was still eating like chicken at 3 a.m. and fried chicken at 3 a.m.
That's
and
the dream, though.
When
you can't do it.
Boy, just like going out and chilling and relaxing. And eventually I was like, yo, this is not really going to work right now. And then you have to kind of like, I think the moment you begin to accept the situation you're in is the moment you begin that like internal, physical and mental healing. Because
it's a journey, though. Isn't
it? And exactly. And it takes time to get to that point where you're like, okay, cool. This is what I have. how do I move forward, kind of thing.
Well, that's like a load of people who's going to be watching this and listening to this today. That's going to be their situation now.
For sure, man.
So hopefully they'll listen to this and say, actually, like, that's where I am. But you've got to think long term with this. And I mean, a bit similar to you, like first year I was diagnosed or around that time, it was like, okay, cool. Well, is this going to actually be cured?
Was it out of the blue? Like you just got random symptoms? Or
yeah,
like?
I mean, I was at university and basically, I think it was like just after Freshers Week, which is just heavy drinking anyway. So I'm sure loads of you out there know what Freshers is. If you don't, it's just a week of just getting battered every single night because you're 18, 19. And then we did rugby initiations, which, you know, if there's rugby players out there listening to this, you know initiations.
I know you man do some dodgy stuff as well, fam.
I had to hug a dead squirrel.
Hug a dead squirrel?
Yeah.
Fam.
Mate, it got much worse than that, but you know, this is sort of PG rated for this stage.
Bruv, I know you man do some borderline like sadomasochist stuff.
We'll sort of leave that there. I ran around Canterbury in a thong. That was interesting, but there you go. And that inspired me to get into fitness.
Yeah, there you go. I'm not running around the thong again unless I got abs.
Yeah,
that's what you said to yourself.
That's it. No. But literally, like after that, I started to get just bad diarrhea symptoms and stuff like that.
Yeah. So like directly after.
Yeah, literally like a few weeks after, and I just put it down to it must be that I've drunk so much.
Of course, yeah. You link. Yeah, you straight away you link that to that.
And we're thinking, I'm putting all this stuff in my body, so it can't be good for me. So I thought I'd cut that out, it'd be fine, and just thought over time it would start to get better. Went to obviously the doctors on campus, and they were like, well, just take some Imodium, monitor it, see how it goes. And it just never ever went away. And it sort of got to around sort of November, December time, just before Christmas, where I was passing out.
Damn,
like I was going to the toilet and just passing out and waking up on the floor. Yeah. And I was like, wow, this is bad.
That's crazy, bro. I never knew that.
Yeah.
Like
there's that, passing blood, all those bits and pieces. So you sort of sit there and go, well, hang on a sec, like something really isn't right. This isn't just I've got a bad stomach, like there's got to be something wrong. Yeah. And then it's just that constant going back and forth, blood tests, further tests. You know, is it an iron deficiency? Is it, you know, gluten intolerance, celiac disease?
It is quite taxing mentally, man, because you're in a state of limbo at the time. You're like, what the hell is going on with my body? And again, it is a very debilitating condition. So you're 100%. Just like, you're sitting there and you're just like, yo, what is going on with me? Like, my body's shutting down. I can't eat anymore. I'm losing weight. I'm sleeping much more. I'm always tired. Like,
do you know what I was just saying on the losing weight bit? My mum saw me the other day and she was like, Ant, you look really skinny. Like, what's happening? I was like, Mum, I've got a condition where I will lose weight because I can't keep the stuff in me. Oh yeah, I forgot about that. And I was like, and this is the problem.
Are you serious?
This is it. And then she laughed and she was like, what I meant was that you look really good. And I was like, good save. Yeah. Give me some food. I'm hungry.
Woman. No.
Have you been around my house before then?
Bruv, I would not dare to say that, bruv. I would literally, bruv, my bag would explode. But yeah, so talking about bags, but I think it will lead on to that. So okay, so it's you're in Freshers Week, and so what is December time? You're going in and out of hospital, or
no, not quite yet. I mean, I went home and I started explaining my symptoms to my mum and dad, and I was like, I'm not really getting anywhere with the university doctors. Like, I'm registered at home. Should I go and speak to people at home? And when I was at home, like, it was Christmas time. I wasn't eating anything sort of, I'd say healthily. It's Christmas, you know. There's chocolate sweets, turkey, you know, or whatever else you want to eat across the holiday period. You're just constantly eating. I remember one day I literally had dinner and then went upstairs, went to the toilet, and I had a solid shit. And I went, hang on a sec, maybe I just need to eat Christmas stuff all year round. Then I'll be fat, but hey, I'll be happy. So I started to think, right, it's got to be something that I'm eating, or it's got to be something either stress related or something that when I'm at home in my home environment, it's got to be something like that. Yeah. Started going backwards and forwards to doctors, and then literally, you know, after that, went back to being awful again, but severe cramping and stuff like that. And I was having to work across the Christmas period because I needed money, obviously, for university, doing silly hours at Sainsbury's.
Were you? Oh, Sainsbury's.
Yeah. Just doing, like, I was on produce, mate. I used to love it. The gut literally be like, come in 6 o'clock, stick your headphones in, bash everything out, go home, get paid, trying to get as much overtime as possible. And then, went to my doctor. We did loads and loads of tests and literally got to the end of that last final test. We went and had a chat and he said, everything looks fine. And I was like, what do you mean everything looks fine? I've given you a stool sample. How can you tell me that's fine? He's like, yeah, it looks normal. And I went, how does it look normal? Like, what normal is that normal for you? Because that isn't normal for me. That's really bad. And he just said, look, I really don't know what to suggest. Perhaps you should get private healthcare. And I was like, well, no,
Well, if you can't see anything, how are they going to see anything? Have they got special goggles or something?
Well, I don't know. Probably better technology.
It's not even about that, man. No. It's just sometimes you just get unlucky with these doctors, bro. And you're like, what are they playing at, man? This is people's lives. And obviously, once you go through the medical schooling system and university for 6 years or whatever, I can understand, like, you become like desensitized to people, to this whole world of like health and conditions and illnesses, but you have to remember people are individual and they have their own cases and they deal 100%. With things in a different way. If you're coming to someone who's gone through something, it's definitely not normal, because everyone knows what their body feels and they know when something isn't feeling correct. And so I think it's just like a sense of helplessness or something, where you're just this doctor is not saying anything to me.
Well, you're the guy I'm going to for advice, and you're supposed to give me that solution to my problem. And if I can't get that, well, where do I turn? Because the thing that I get for free, that is provided by the NHS, can't help me. So now what?
Trust me.
You know, it was like, right, well, what do I do? And I was having a chat with my dad, and he was like, well, I can put you on you're already on the family sort of private health insurance. Like, maybe we get referred. So I had to ask my NHS doctor, can you refer me to a specialist? Fortunately, I went to a specialist in Epsom. Dr. Gould was his name.
Man like gold.
Mate, do you know what? He's the nicest, oldest man I ever met. And my first question was, how did you get into this? Like, when you went to medical school, they've got all the glitz and glamour bits, like hearts, liver, brain surgery. And you chose sticking fingers up people's bums. Can you just tell me how that went? Like, how that worked? And he laughed about it. And he just said, well, I'll tell you what, those are the main areas that are applied for. So if you become a specialist in this field, you get you'll get sought after. And I was like, fair enough. Literally within, I don't know, about a day, I went straight in, had some tests, had a colonoscopy. The day after, literally a few hours after, he said, yeah, you've got ulcerative colitis. I was like, oh.
See, he just puts a bad name on that doctor as well, man. Yeah. Whatever the first doctor. That's so annoying, man. But at least it was done, do you know what I'm saying? And you're lucky enough that you had the facilities to do that, man. Because obviously there's a lot of people who may not be lucky enough to be under that. I never had private healthcare. Exactly, I can't get it now as well.
Yeah, neither can I.
As in, even though you were on it before, you can't renew it.
Well, no, because it was under the family plan. And then when I turned, when I literally went, I think 21 or something, they said, well, you've got to do it on your own now. And my dad just stopped renewing it. And I was like, cheers, Dad. Man. I was like, what about all the surgeries that I need? He was like, yeah, well, it's not going to happen, is it, mate? It's like, cheers, mate. Love you, Dad. Shout out to you, Dad.
Yeah, big up, Dad. Mr. Andrews.
Hey, oh, yeah, I know he's in trouble. Call him Mr. Andrews. But yeah, and then I was given Mesavant, Pentasa, and steroids to start with.
Mesavant is that elephant pill, bro.
Huge.
My God, you got to get 4 of them as well. Yeah, it's like a burgundy or something.
Yeah. It's massive. And he was like, take all of that. And that took, even with the medication, it took 8 months for the symptoms to go. Jeez. And then I went into a period of remission. And I remember that so well, because I was working in Sainsbury's, I was closing the store up, went to the toilet, and I was like, oh my God, I have no symptoms. Everything's normal. And I text my mum, I text my mate. I was like, remember this time, remember this hour, because this is when Ant's finally done a solid shit. And everything's fine. And literally, I was celebrating. I was gassed.
Of course.
I had that for, I don't know, a good year of remission.
Really?
And then it just kept going backwards and forwards. Just constant. And that's just across a 10-year period.
That's mad. So
how did you get yours, though? How did you get from your point to surgery?
Fam, so...
Because
how long have we got, bro?
That's the point. Hey, that's the point. I said I'm going to come here and ask you questions. So for people that necessarily don't know, I am going to have surgery in a couple of months' time, end of October. And I've been asking Mo for so much advice. So, what have you done beforehand, after, how easy it is to get along with a bag and stuff like that. Asking loads of other people as well, like Billy Anderson. Guy in America, guy called London Hurrah. I think he's just got into San Jose State University or something like that. He's done really well. And all these guys are really my inspiration, because I can look at people like you and be like, bag life looks sick. So
again, going back to Ant's point, I wanted to invite him on before his surgery, just to get kind of his thoughts on that, and then he'll come back on after his surgery, so we can see that kind of the difference and the improvement that is inevitably going to happen. So like Ant said, it came to a stage where basically my quality of life was terrible. So this was in 2014, I remember. So I had to drop out of university.
Didn't tell me you dropped out.
Yeah, I dropped out, man.
Sorry, man.
A man's got P's, I got to pay like 30k back, and I didn't get a degree, bruv. It's peak, man.
Can you not go back and just
I don't
finish
even
it?
want to go back, to be honest,
No?
man. Like, I've been hustling hard, and thankfully now I got this new job. Like, I've got to where I want to be, but it's taken a time to get here, man. It's taken time to get here. So, yeah, I dropped out of university. Took a year out because I ended up contracting TB. Did you know that?
Oh, you did, yeah, you did tell me that.
Yeah. So I caught TB because of the medication for basically Crohn's or anti-inflammatories. It has immunosuppressant effect as well. So I ended up contracting that. So for a year I was on that medication, didn't pay attention to Crohn's. Came back to Crohn's, and things just weren't getting better. I was trying loads of different medications, and they all go up in severity.
Yeah.
Like they try them. It's like I call it like the pyramid of severity. So you start from the bottom, like all the basic stuff, and if that works, great. If it doesn't, you move up a level, and it continues on like that. So I was like at the top. I was on Humira.
That's expensive stuff as well.
Yeah, it's like
over £1,000 a go.
Yeah, man. It's like 13 grand a year, 12 grand a year.
Man,
it's a mad thing, bruv. But I paid for it physically, man, because I ended up catching TB because of that.
Yeah, but do you know what? This is the stupidest thing about all of this. Is like here's a medication that's going to help you, and then you go into like kidney failure, renal failure, liver failure, contract TB.
I'm not gonna lie. My current medication, I haven't taken it in like 3 months.
Is that because
I'm not a fan of medication, man.
No,
I'm not a fan of like this kind of injecting myself with this man-made
bollocks, do you know what? That's why.
But look, obviously I know about Crohn's, but you look healthy. Do you know what I'm saying? Like physically, bro.
Stop it,
and I need to get to you because I'm getting like a Buddha body, bro.
Flattery's gonna get you nowhere, mate.
Body of a god, Buddha.
I'll train you up, mate.
Yeah,
how it goes.
Man, like. But talking about training, bro. I went gym the other day for the first time. My legs are so sore right now, fam.
But they look dench.
Quads for days.
Quads for days.
Frimpong.
That's it.
Oh man, yeah, my legs are just so sore right now. It's actually mad. Where were we?
Medication.
TB. So yeah, there we go. So yeah, the TB went back, and basically I had like a self-assessment of my life, and it was terrible. Like I was not enjoying myself. I was unable to go out and enjoy myself and eat food. I was always going to the bathroom. I was always tired. I was sleeping for like 13 hours and waking up more tired than when I went to bed. Like, it was just terrible.
Yeah, man.
So they proposed the idea of having surgery.
How did you feel about that initially?
I started crying, fam. Like, I was in hospital at the time. And so I was like, this is peak, bro. I don't want that.
What made you not want it? Because this is something that commonly when we speak to people, they say, I want nothing to do with surgery.
It's an initial stigma, man. And it's stupid. Because I think even it affects guys as well as much as it affects women, girls. This whole like image thing, I was like, I can't have a bag attached to me, man. That's weird, bruv. Like, that's just weird. And then thankfully, I'm lucky enough where I had a year before I actually had the surgery. So in 2014 December, they told me. In 2015 December, I had the surgery. So I had a whole year to like prepare myself mentally about this whole new change. So walking into the surgery, I was chilling, man. I was like, yo, I'm looking forward to this. This is going to be an improvement to my life. I'm gassed. I'm looking forward to my new chapter. I was like, yo, to the surgery guys, to the anesthetic.
Anesthesiologist.
Is that how you say it, bruv?
Boom.
Anesthetist, brother.
Yeah, well.
One of them.
One of those.
I was like, yo, enjoy, have fun. So the surgery was done, and it was more about like just looking forward after that. Excuse me.
So what was your recovery like and stuff like that?
So yeah, this is.
I mean, we can talk about this later.
I'm so naive. No, it's fine. I'm so naive. I was just laughing because I was remembering how I felt.
Yeah.
So I made a series of vlogs. This is like how this whole journey for me started. And this was like the second or third one where it was like the day after the surgery. I'd woken up. Yeah. And I was like, yo, I feel great already.
Nice, man. And was that because of the meds?
It was all because of the stuff they had pumped me. I couldn't feel anything.
Oh, man.
So I was like, yo, this already? How can I feel so good? So stupid. I was like, yo, I feel, this is sick. Yo, how can I feel so good already? Went to bed, woke up the next day, like the anesthetic had faded off. Completely, and I was like, gone. Yo, this is painful, bro. Yeah. Like the abdominal pain was mad. But again, in my head, I knew it was going to go down before it picked up.
Well, yeah, I mean,
so I was okay.
Surgery,
yeah, exactly. Yeah. I was like, yo, my body needs time to adapt. So I'm going to give it time to adapt. So post-surgery, I stayed in the hospital for a week. I think they wanted to send me home like a day after.
Did they?
Bro, I was like, yo, what are you chatting about? These doctors are not mad, but as in, again, their job is done. The surgery is done. The surgeon's done. They're like, why are you here, fam? So they're just like, why are you still here, bro? And I'm like, bro, I don't know how to change the bag. I don't know what this thing is hanging out of my body. Like, relax. Let me take my time. So then the Layla, big up Layla. She's the stoma nurse at UCH.
Big up, Layla. You do a great job. I bet you don't get enough shout out.
Yeah, man. Big up.
The work
big up.
you do.
I'm a big up to them. She came in and she like took time with me, and we had an opportunity to like go through the whole thing and cut in the hole in the stoma bag.
Yeah.
And like sticking it on and the whole process. And then I had a couple of days to get used to it. So by the time I left, I was quite confident.
Cool.
And so I left, and then it was just a recovery journey. I was off work. I didn't go back to work for another month or two.
Wow.
Honestly, I actually can't remember. I think it was a month, 3 weeks or something.
Yeah.
But I spent time in bed. I was just eating food, bro. I was eating non-stop, bro. Scones.
What food you wanted to eat?
Bro, I was just eating scones and
amazing.
Chocolate.
Oh.
And I was like, yo, I feel calm. My body, this is mad, bro. I feel calm. Obviously, I wasn't going to the toilet anymore.
Yeah, it's just coming out.
It was just coming out of the bag. So it was nuts. The adaptation was crazy. But again, it took me a couple months. But again, I understood that it's going to take time for my body to heal. Most of the messages I get from people are like, how long was your recovery? I do this. I really want to get back into it. I was like, yo.
It's your body.
It's your body, number one. Just give it the time it needs. The last thing you want to do is get back into something, injure yourself, go back to hospital, and spend even longer out.
Yeah.
So just give your body time to heal. You'll know when you're ready. And so I had the surgery in December the 7th, 2015. And I went back to the gym in April the next year. Yeah. So I gave it like 4 months. And I felt good, man. I'd put back on weight, and I wasn't going to lose this weight. I put on too much weight, in fact. That's why I went back to the gym, bro. I was like 75 kilos, and I'm like 5'8", so that was a lot. And it wasn't muscle. So started going to the gym again, back into football, and then slowly, like my life began to rebuild itself. And the only thing I had to kind of adapt to was the fact that I had this little bag. And now, man, I forget I even have it sometimes.
Yeah.
Honestly, it's so far in the back of my mind. It is not a big deal. No one even knows that I have it unless I tell them.
Yeah.
I've got my energy back. I've got my confidence back. Hence why I'm doing something like this. And, it's really rejuvenated me. And I'm just happy it kind of happened to me at that time of my life, because when you're younger, you're able to adapt to these situations.
Yeah, 100%.
And I don't have responsibilities. I don't have a mortgage. I don't have a family. So I'm able to adapt to it. Now, anything that's thrown at me, I feel like I'm accustomed. I can just deal with it, bro.
Yeah.
It's not a big deal. You know what I'm saying? Nothing is a big deal. I'd really get stressed.
Yeah.
Because I've been through so much. I'm sure it's exactly the same with you.
Mate, to be fair, I was going to say, like, you have to. Because it's life. These are the cards you're dealt with. And everyone's like, 100%. Oh, you're such an inspiration for doing these bits. Like, well, you may view that, but at the end of the day, like, these are the cards you're dealt with. You just have to get on with it. We had a long chat a while ago where we were talking about, how people get down about their conditions and stuff like this. And yeah, it can be mentally draining, but what you've got to remember is like, that's just one small part of your life. The rest of your life, all the things that are happening around you, like you've still got like family, friends, support network, loved ones. You've still got various, jobs, or you can still have your hopes and dreams. It's just a tiny bit of your life that is slightly changed. It's
that basic saying was like, take one step back, two step forward. You know what I'm saying? But
then listening to your story now, which you've just said, gives me hope and gives other people hope that haven't had their.
Bro, we got you, man. I'm telling you, like. It's gonna benefit you, man.
Yeah, 100%.
And if there's small things that you feel like you're not getting from your life, things that you're like, I wish this was a bit better, or I wish I didn't have this uneasiness. You know what? That uneasiness where you're outdoors, you're
every
like,
day.
Where's the closest bathroom?
Every day.
But I do not even worry about that anymore, man. It comes to a point where I'm so lazy about going to the bathroom now. My bag is so full. I'm like, I can't even be bothered to empty it. Literally, it's just I've become lazy.
That's
so.
What I want. Well, I was going to ask though, what was it like initially when you woke up after surgery and you saw that hospital bag, and then like how quickly did you? I mean, you had a year to prepare anyway for it. But so what was it like when you were like, well, this is it now, like it's there?
Well, again, like I said, I was lucky. It wasn't an emergency surgery or anything like that. I was so chill. I was like, is this it? Yeah. As in, it was calm, and I think you'll probably be the same as well because you've had time to prepare yourself mentally, and you understand that it's going to be an improvement. To what was before. Again, it's going to take some time for your body to heal. It's going to take some time for you to adapt. 100%. But once that's all done, you're back on your feet, bro. There's no looking back, man. There is no looking back. Again, when you first had the surgery, it's so swollen. It looks like a little falafel ball. Like, it's just like a little fat thing there. But again, it is what it is, man. Like, you will get better. Mine is tiny now, and it just moves around, and it's
sick.
It's
Do
crazy.
you know what?
Bro.
It's one thing. I know this is going to sound a bit counterintuitive, but the fact that you have a bag, you can say, well, look, actually, I am disabled.
Oh,
like you can physically see
you're
my
completely
illness.
true. You're completely right. Sometimes I'm just like, yo, if I need to, I'm just like,
Bosh, it gets out.
done as
Show us again. Oh, sick!
It's a bit full, to be honest.
No, it looks
So
cool,
my
man.
breakfast is coming true, bro.
Nice.
Shout out, Mumsy. What was I gonna say? Oh yeah, so excuse me. The first time I went to an airport, it went off.
Oh, really?
And I was easy, man. There's a lot of I've read a lot. Look,
Depends
the
where you are.
IBD
If you're in
community,
America.
the IBD community for me has its ups and downs.
Okay.
I disagree with a lot of things. I agree with most things.
So what do you disagree with?
I think a lot of people have a very negative mindset with what they share.
Yeah, do you know what? This is what we were
There's
talking
a
about
lot
while
of
ago.
people
Yeah,
who
yeah,
have a
yeah.
negative mindset, and they tend to share all the downs. And
Mm.
don't get me wrong, okay, it's good to share that, but every day, every hour, I don't need to know that. So when I first got my bag and first started releasing the vlogs, I followed loads of them. Eventually, I started to unfollow all of them.
Yeah.
Because I wake up and I'm just getting these depressing messages, and I'm like, cool, I understand that, but you have to take the positive from it. And I don't want to
100%.
wake up and read this negative stuff. And if that's what you want to do, respect to you, man. You do, it's your life. But I'm not about that. And I don't want other people who follow me or who listen to what I say, same as you, I'm sure you're exactly the same, to just to see that I'm just some negative person and put it down on the day. My job, as someone who is thankfully, praise the higher powers, has managed to recover from a debilitating condition.
Yeah,
My job is to make sure other people can feel the same positivity that I feel right now, the confidence that I have, and attack life and enjoy life to its full potential and reach your full potential as a human. That's my job. That's what I feel like my job is.
That should be everyone's goal.
That's everyone's goal is. But then, so I can't, that's why I disagree with a lot of people in the IBD community, man. It's just so depressing, bruv.
I mean, it's probably not out of design, but you do see a lot of people because they don't have that support network. They've only got maybe like one person, or they may just be that isolated that the only way they know how to get sort of engagement is look at me and look at how bad things are for me, so I can get people to engage. But I do agree with you. Like, if it's too much, you're like, well, you have to go and help yourself.
Yeah,
and that's the biggest thing with this is like anything in life, you have to make yourself happy. Like, yes, having these conditions is life changing. It's life changing. It's debilitating.
100%.
You know, you're going to have operations. You might not. Your medication might be horrendous for you. You're going to be going backwards and forwards to hospital. You're going to cancel plans on various things. It's going to stop you from doing, you know, limited things at certain times. But that won't stop you achieving what you want. So you have to look at things with a positive mindset, and you have to do things step by step and go, right, my goal this week, let's say, for example, we were going to go to the gym again, like after your surgery. Right, my goal is that in 6 months' time, I'm going to go to the gym with Ant and we're going to do various bits and pieces. In fact, I'll make that a goal. After my surgery, 6 months down the line, I'll be like, right, Mo, we're going to go to the gym. We're going to do a first session or something 100%. Like that. And then you just build step by step towards it.
But I think that's something we've managed to develop. I haven't always been like that. Like when I always wanted instant gratification.
Yeah.
I think going through this condition has made me understand that you got to take baby steps. You got to set yourself small targets. Whereas before, I'd try and reach for the stars before I could even flipping walk up a step ladder. You know what I'm saying? You got to be realistic. Bro, I don't know, man. I'm changing light bulbs. So it was. It's an eye opener. I definitely feel like going through this whole journey has built character. It's built a level of maturity.
100%.
It's helped me to understand and appreciate life a lot more. I have a much more positive outlook on life. And I'm grateful. I'm grateful. I'm not gonna lie. I'm grateful for the space I'm in now. But only going through that suffering has got me to this position.
And that's the main thing that everyone who's watching this today or listening to this, if you're going to watch it on YouTube, even if you watch this on YouTube in a year's time or something like that, and you go, oh man, this is timeless. You'll sit there and go, well, there was two geezers chatting about it, and they've gone, well, actually, you go through that, but you always come out of it. And the problem is we always get so focused on the here and now, we never look at that bigger picture.
Trust me.
So you'll always get to where you need to be. It's just how you have to go and change that and make yourself happy.
It's never a straight road, isn't it, man? That's never a straight road.
If it was a straight road and it was easy, everyone would be doing it, and it'd be boring. It's never a straight
road. So you got to understand that there's times where you have to adapt. That's the main thing that I've got, is actually adaptation. No matter what the situation is I'm going through, A to B, it's never going to be a straight line.
No.
And if it's not a straight line, cool. You take a step back again, you reassess, and you keep going around, up, under, over, left, right. It doesn't really matter. You just keep going and you get to your goal. You get there eventually. But you have to understand, if something gets in your way, you can't throw a tantrum, you can't get upset, you can't allow it to get to you.
Yeah.
Because it's not a personal thing. You just like, okay, cool, this is the situation.
I'll tell you what, if it does get to you, that's where you need the community that we have, and that's where you go. You know, not necessarily to say like, oh, woe is me, look at me. It's like, Mo, mate, you know, I'm struggling with bits and pieces with my bags. Can you give us a little tip, or like,
100%, man.
do you see what I mean? And that's
just
where
catch up, go to like a little coffee shop or
exactly.
something, man.
Talk to people about it, because that's the other side of it as well. Is that when you've not just this condition, any condition will affect you mentally, and if you don't chat to people about it, it will just get worse.
100%, man. Like the worst thing you can do is keep it cooped up.
Yeah.
Inside of yourself, bottle it away, because exactly, man, chuck a Mentos in a Coke bottle, it's gonna explode at some point, bruv. I'm telling you. And this is exactly the same situation. And if you're too shy or whatever, man, there's people out there, man. There's females, there's girls out there who are doing the same thing. Again, obviously, it's 2 blokes right now, but as in, there's a massive female community on Instagram, probably more prominent than the male one.
No, 100%.
Much more prominent.
Yeah. Well, mate, that's why we're doing this, because there's hardly any guys actually chatting about
Trust
this.
me, it has become a bit more to the forefront now, I think, and there's been a lot of news coverage about IBD and Crohn's and colitis,
man,
which is a great thing, because awareness is the best way forward.
Yeah, exactly.
But again, just reach out, man, and me, whoever. Like, they don't ever feel shy to just send a message, man. What's the harm?
All we're going to do is like talk to you about it anyway, and we're not doctors. I'm not going to give you advice to say this is the medication you should be on, and this is how many milligrams
never that,
you
man.
need.
It's more just about lifestyle, isn't it?
Support network,
100%,
and that's all it is.
Bro.
That's all
100%.
it is. So when you finished your surgery, then, and you went from, you know,
man's interviewing me, blood.
Hey, invite me on, man.
Nah, go for it, man. Go for it. I like it.
I've got to pick your brains, man, because I want,
man. Let's do this.
Just to arm myself with everything to be like, right, cool. So
I'm glad, though. I'm glad you're able to confide in me and like you trust my opinion, man. I appreciate that a lot.
Well, mate, you're one of the only guys that I know that A has got a bag, and B is openly happy and wants to chat about it. It's got the same wavelength as me. Because I could ask people that, say, for example, you know, have gone through surgery and they're still struggling and they're not in that sort of positive mindset. They're not going to give me what they want, because they'll turn around and say, don't do it.
Don't get it.
No, I'm getting it. I want to get it. This is my goal. This is what I set up 6, 7, 8 months ago. And I was like, I need to get this done this year. My 30th coming up. It's got to be done. I don't want to then start the next chapters of my life, etc., and not have a bag and get further worse medication. As we were saying earlier, mate, you got TB with yours. I was on cyclosporin and some other biologic, and my kidneys started shutting down.
Yeah, I remember reading that. I was like, yo, this is a madness, bruv. Like, it's just a joke thing, man. That's why I believe, like, this condition, you have to adapt your lifestyle.
Yeah, 100%.
It is a complete lifestyle. You flip it 180, man, like a complete change. You have to start going to bed on time, or like make a routine, basically. You have to start eating the right things, which is something we'll touch on, because I believe food is imperative.
Food is life. I can't stand people that go, oh no, I don't like food. Like, what do you do? Do you just sit there and photosynthesize? What's wrong with you? I don't want to eat.
Solar panels attached to them, bro. No, you're complete. Yeah, like, food is everything. And then there's a lot of people complaining, and I'm seeing them just eat burgers and chips and fried food.
That's why things are wrong for you, mate. Do you know what I mean?
It's just like,
use your
bruh,
brain,
man. Like, I understand that. Like, you each to their own, but like, do yourself a favor and just put something decent into your body, bruv. It's like a car, innit, man? If you put diesel in a petrol car, you're screwed.
Well, it's definitely going to break down.
Yeah,
exactly. It's going to cost you a lot of money also.
And
so
there you go then. And money is time. Do you know what I'm saying? And that's what we have, time. If you end up eating the wrong things and not taking your time to appreciate your body and understand your body, then you're just going to do damage to yourself. And in the long run, you're going to pay for it.
Yeah. So when you finished your surgery then, and you started to get back into, you know, normal life and things, like, obviously you started to talk about the positives. Like, were you then able to say, get a job? You started to get more confidence. Like, how did that affect you sort of lifestyle wise as well, sort of family, relationship wise, stuff like that? Again,
like, it was a learning curve, a steep learning curve. So luckily, like you, I had time beforehand, like I mentioned, to adapt to the whole situation. But once you actually have it, it's a different ball game. So it was about figuring out my eating patterns, because basically with the stoma bag, the digestion is a lot quicker. A lot quicker, and it's like oats, basically. So the ideal consistency of your poo when you got a stoma bag is basically like an OT.
I'm glad I had porridge for breakfast, man.
Literally like that. If
and
it's like
in it as well.
oh good. I got some more here. If
I'm cool, fam. I'm cool. I don't want no more Nutella.
So basically, yeah. So if it's quite liquidy, then you know that obviously something's going on. You're losing fluid. One thing I have had to do is I drink a lot more water, man. I drink 2-3 liters a day because obviously you're losing a lot more fluid. So your large intestine is where your poop becomes dry and absorbed. So if you are my large intestine right now is dormant, so there's nothing going through it. So I have to keep my fluids up, keep my levels up, keep my electrolytes up. Again, that's something you learn. It's not something you just know. So coming back to work, again, it's your outlook. So my work colleagues knew, but there were some new work colleagues there, and they would never have guessed. Because I'm not making a big deal out of it. It's just my thing. If you want to know, cool, I'll tell you, but I'm not going to go around like just waving my ting around, or I'm not going to be depressed.
Look at my shit bag. Look at it. Look at it.
I call it my swag bag.
That's a better name.
Swag bag.
I might just call mine my little shit bag.
Swag bag. My little shit.
That's what my mum used to call me as a kid.
Shit.
No, she didn't. She didn't. Like, mum, chill. It's all right.
Like My Little Pony. My little. So yeah, I went to work, whatever, and again, initially it was like, okay, I'm a little bit wary, but I'm chilling, man. This is me. Like, what it is.
What was work like with like you having to have time off and stuff?
Calm, because I was a good worker in it. They wanted me back ASAP, but I was like, look, my body needs time to heal.
Yeah.
And it happened before with like abscesses and stuff. So obviously that's another thing. Yeah, just dropping beats, bro. Abscesses and stuff. I don't know if you've had one before, but they're just the maddest, bro. They are just mad thing, man. Perennial abscess. It's like so this is like another byproduct of living with IBD. So basically, an abscess can be formed when through your large intestine, some bacteria gets stuck or some shit basically, and it basically eats its way through the lining, digging its way to like the surface basically of your skin, and then obviously it can't get through the skin, so it collects and like lots of pus and just random stuff collect, and it becomes very heavy, very uncomfortable. And they basically have to pop it, and then they have to heal that tract, and it's just like that is probably that is the reason why I got the stoma. I just remember that is the reason why I got the stoma, because I had like 3 of them and they weren't healing, and thank God they've all healed. But it's taken like 2 or 3 years. Like initially I was like, it's been a year and I'm still getting these stomas and these abscesses, and they're still active. So actually that was the main reason. That was the main reason why I got the stoma, because my quality of life due to them was horrible. I had like 3 at once. Mate. So it was fucked, bruv.
I know, I've seen 2 of my friends, a girl called Hayley, shout out to Hayley, because there's a girl I work with. She's had various bags and bits and pieces. I think she lost her kidney to Crohn's and stuff like that. And fistulas, all those bits and pieces. And, you know, the stuff that you have to go through, like to start with, like literally, and then it's like, right, now we're going to look to operate, we're going to do these bits and pieces. Like, well,
you have to remember that the surgery is like the last option, and they don't want to do it to her, but obviously if it's come to that stage where she's not enjoying life, then
she's had major, like so many surgeries now. She's actually got to the end, and actually now like her quality of life is just so much better.
Big up Hayley, man. I'm happy for her, man.
Hayley Short, where you're at. But she literally she's been a massive part, especially at work, because we work together, and she's like, this is what you can expect, these are the various bits and pieces, and she's gone through a lot to do it. So again, just like yourself, you can sit there and be like, well, actually that's the end. That if that person there is the aspirational target, you can see where they're going to be. Why is that stopping me from getting
precisely
you know what I mean?
And mental strength is a massive part of this whole thing, man.
You learn it
exactly, because you have to set yourself a goal. You're like, I can't live like this. Like, this is not how I want to be. You have to have this honest conversation with yourself.
100%.
And it takes courage. Exactly. It takes courage to sit down and say, okay, look, Moeed, look, and look, whoever is listening to this and in that situation, look, I'm not enjoying myself right now. Things could be better. What do I do? How do I change? What can I do to move forward? And then you got to set yourself like a little plan. I was the same. I'm sure you're the same as well. Like, yo, look, I'm not enjoying life. It's dead right now. This is so dead. Like, my life is so crap. Get the stoma bag and take it from there. And so now you're kind of at the position I was a couple of years ago.
I mean, my life isn't shit. The quality of life is terrible. I mean, my life's still good. Like,
of course. Yeah, it's just like within myself. Within myself, like, this is not how I want to be.
Yeah,
I'm sure same as you.
Exactly.
Like, obviously, I'm enjoying myself still, but as in myself, I can't enjoy myself to my maximum.
Yeah, exactly.
Because of everything I'm going through. So if it comes to a point where I'm just like, all I have to do is worry about emptying this bag,
Oh, that's going to be such a dream.
It's
mate.
so calm, fam. Even people who, bruv, it's so funny. I've got people who have no condition whatsoever, and they're like, "Oh man, it's so easy. I wish I had it. I wish I had that."
Literally, a woman at work, she was saying,
yeah.
so sorry, how does a bag work? It's like, so you don't ever have to go to the toilet, like, ever? And I was like, no, I'll never have to use my bum, ever.
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
it just won't
literally.
work. And they were like,
you might have to randomly use it. You might have to randomly use it because there'll be still stuff that passes through. So the surgery you're going to get, yeah? So the surgery I've got is a ileostomy, so reverse ileostomy. It's a loop ileostomy. So basically, they just take a part of my small intestine and they push it through the abdomen, put a slit in it, and then everything comes through that and doesn't pass through. But I've still got my large intestine, my colon, my rectum, everything's still there. With the chance that it could be reversed. Yeah. But they said that's 2 years, and it's coming up to 4 years now. But I have no intention of reversing anything because I do not want to go back to what it was. So have they told you kind of what surgery is lined up for you, or is it going to be a full?
So it'll be exactly the same as yours, but rather than the dormant colon, they'll just take all of that colon out and just leave the little stump rectum bit at the end. Again, if they want to then make a J pouch or something like that going forward. Sure. Which,
because obviously yours affects the colon, I forget. Yeah. So they have to get rid of that.
The whole colon comes out. Yeah. You know, I'll be cured. And this is, do you know what? This is something we'll touch on in a minute. Is when people go, like, I put a post up a while ago about. Obviously, everyone's going through different bits and pieces and how certain conditions affect each other. And I got a comment off somebody, and I don't know who it was, and said, yeah, but you've got colitis. So you take away your colon, you're fine. There's nothing like Crohn's. I was like, right. You know, that in itself is true. I can understand that. But just because you're frustrated by the fact that, you know, your quality of life isn't that good. My quality of life isn't that good, though. So you don't sort of push that out there.
That's the issue, that people have this. He probably didn't mean it because they're so upset with what's happening with them, they have to like deflect that negative energy on someone else, and it comes to a point where you're just like, look, man, all we can do is like console them, bro. Yeah, you say, look, bro, man, look, I'm sorry about what you're going through or whatever, but it's just like you can't, because again, this thing plays with your emotions, it plays with your mentality, it plays with everything. Again, we're lucky that we got it at an early-ish age. Imagine if we're 45, we've got kids, we've got a mortgage, we got a full-time job, we can't quit. It's peak, bro. It is peak. Because there's basically the onset of Crohn's is either your early teens or like your late 40s, 50s. And, bruv, I do not want to know what it's going to be like for people who are at that later stage in life, man. Because you're in a routine. You may have never experienced something like that in your life. And this thing hits you like a car. You might crumble. You might never get back from that.
Well, yeah, but that's the other side of it as well. As you were saying, you don't have any commitments as such, no mortgage, no family. If you're the main breadwinner, if you will, and then you get these conditions, well, I can't work. How am I going to pay my rent? How am I going to pay my mortgage? How am I going to feed my family? And that then exacerbates the mental side of it because you get so worried about just paying bills. And that's the biggest driver of all of this. So if there's people watching this and listening to this that are at that stage, like, mate, you're more than welcome to just chat to us and do whatever you want.
Chat to us, man.
We'll just all we'll do is just say it isn't actually that bad. You're in a bad place at the moment, but that's not forever. Yeah, you know, and it will never be forever because you will change and things will change and things will adapt. So
there are local support groups as well. Online, exactly. Like just look online. There's communities everywhere that are finally like, you know, someone's taken the lead basically and set this whole thing up. So if there isn't one in your area, just be the first person. I spoke to someone in America recently and they were like, there's nothing like this in my area. I was like, well, that's your calling. I was like, this is your calling then. I was like, start one. I literally just said that to the guy. I was like, start it. Bruv, this is your calling then. You really want to do it? Start this. I had a guy call me from America and he's like, I want to speak to you. We had like an hour and a half conversation on WhatsApp, bruv. It was mad. And he's asking me all these questions and I think it was him. Yeah, and I was like, bro, and he's like, I got to drive like 45 minutes or something like that. I was like, bro, then just start one in your area, man.
Just get
take the
people
reins. Because people are going to be grateful. You may think, this is going to be nervous, no one's going to come, bro. People are going to be grateful that you have given them this opportunity to share their story amongst a crowd of people, other people who are going through the same thing.
And it's so common. It's so common. There's just so much taboo around it because it's about shit. Yeah,
you
don't want to talk about it. Like literally,
people have been through worse stuff, man. I'm telling you, man. It's not embarrassing in the slightest, but we're all humans. I guarantee everyone at some point has shit themselves. You know what I'm saying, bruv? So don't even try and hide that from me, bruv. I'll look at Mandem and they'll be like, that's this. I'm like, bruv, I know you have done some dodgy stuff, bruv. Do not even try chat to me about me and this whole thing, man. Like. Every human has gone through something embarrassing and you just got to laugh at it. Yeah. You can't take it personally. Again, we're just humans, man. Everyone's done something silly. Everyone's done something dodgy. Something has happened to them where it's like embarrassed. But You got to laugh at it.
You have to.
That's the only way you
to,
can
man.
just like embrace it and move it forward. Again, it goes back to like the whole thing about embracing yourself. And yeah, man. So let me ask you a question now, Rafa.
No, man, this is my podcast. Got him. What do you want? Hit me.
What do I want? So obviously, let's take it back slightly to when we were talking about university. So you got the diagnosis. What? So you're the middle of your first year.
Yeah. So 19.
So how did that affect the rest of university for you?
Do you know what? Getting the diagnosis. Pre-diagnosis, it was terrible because it was like, what is wrong with me? I still don't know what's happening. When you get that diagnosis, in a sense, it's a euphoric experience. You go, right, now I know what's wrong with me. Thank God.
Sure, yeah.
I'm not just going mad. The doctors are saying nothing's wrong with you. Obviously, you need to go back to medical school to retire. But here's my diagnosis. So what's the plan?
Exactly, yeah.
What are we going to do about this? What's the treatment? What do I have to change in my lifestyle to then make things better? And at least at that stage, it was like, right, cool. So I'm going to take Mesovant, Pentasa, steroids for a period of time. Let's look at your diet. Let's alter various bits and pieces. And from there, it gave me a lot of clarity about what I needed to do and where I needed to go, sort of thing. I'm quite open and honest just to chat to people about it anyway. So I was telling all my friends, I've got this condition where I shit myself all the time. It's great. You love it. Pass loads of blood. Couldn't be happier.
Yeah, but that's the thing
like
though. They're probably like, oh shit, swear.
Yeah.
And then they move on.
Yeah. That's what it is.
If you hide
There's
it,
nothing else wrong with it.
That's when they're just like, yo, what's going on?
Why'd you keep going off, man? Why'd you keep scurrying away all the time? What's wrong with you?
Don't be shy, man. People need to embrace it, and so you need to embrace it. And all you got to do is tell the truth, man. And again, if there's someone then, once you tell them the truth, I start acting different with you or start not appreciating you, then goodbye.
Do you know what? I was having a chat with this with one of my mates, Bryony.
Big up. Yeah, I've seen her a couple of times. She used to come to my old store.
Yeah. She's sound. We met up ages and ages ago, and we were talking about because obviously she's got her boyfriend and stuff like that. And I was saying, well, what did you do when you guys started going out? Like, because obviously the other side of it, and especially like being at university, was like, well, I want to crack on. I've got to crack on with girls, and I don't really want to crack on and be like, just give me 2 minutes, babe, I've got to run off. And then like, right, we'll get back to it. Sorry, 1 sec. Do you see what I mean? Like you run backwards and forwards. Like when I think she was explaining to me that she actually took some time to actually end up telling her partner about it. I think I might have this the wrong way around. I'm sorry if I've got it wrong, but she was initially quite hesitant. And for me, it's
even if it's not the case with her, I'm sure there's plenty of stories like that.
And people will go, oh no, I won't tell him until like 3 or 4 months or after so many dates. It's like, no, tell him straight away. This is your life. You're either on with this or you're not. Do you know what I mean?
It's no like,
if that's an issue for you, then I don't want you in my life.
It's not like pussyfooting, isn't it? It's like in or out, bruv. Like they have to take it because it becomes a massive aspect of our lives.
Exactly. And you have to be on board with it. It's not going to affect you. It's not going to harm you in any way.
Just so you know.
The only thing that's going to happen is occasionally I'll be like, right, all the best. I've just got to run off. I'll come back in a minute.
Give me a sec.
It's all good. It's
Give
all
me a
good.
sec,
Or it'll be
bruv,
like, look, we've got bare air freshener in here. It's all fine. Don't worry about it. That's it. But
that's one thing you got to look about the stoma, by the way.
I can't wait for it.
No, the air freshener, bruv. You're going to need it, bruv.
See, I've been
There's sometimes where I empty it and I'm just like, Ross. I'm just like, yo, I produced this, fam. Bruv, I could kill all the grass in my garden if I empty. Bruv, it's mad. But you know what? It's because it's like semi-digested,
That's it, mate. That's it.
So
yeah, but then,
quite rancid.
You know, there's... to be fair, all the like your bags and stuff got all the filters built into it, so it does. It's not no external smell or anything.
Nothing comes out. It's only when you empty it, like as in it's completely fine.
Exactly.
And you can get these little drops you put inside the bag as well, which are like air freshener drops, so it comes out smelling like roses. literally. My
guy.
So yeah, okay. So you're at uni.
Yeah. And that was a bit, you know what, I mean, you're 19 and you're like, I just want to run around. Obviously do my work and stuff, and then I want to work hard and play hard and stuff like that.
How was it, like balancing, obviously, doing the work, everything, going rugby, and then how did that affect your body?
University, they were actually really good.
You told them straight away?
Yeah, well, no, when I got diagnosed, I gave it to sort of my, you sort of get your like pastoral care people, and I went and started speaking to them about it. And they were like, oh, did you know you're actually disabled?
Yeah.
And I was like, no. Like, yeah, you're actually classed disabled. What we'll do is we're gonna start a couple of meetings with you, and we'll start to talk about stuff. And I can't remember the lady's name, but I ended up going to a meeting and chatting to her, and she said, we're going to give you lots of this equipment, various bits and pieces.
I just remembered. I got the same thing as well.
I got a free laptop. I didn't need a new laptop, but I got a free laptop with all this software on it. So if I was too tired to type, I could speak into it and record all my work. Yeah. That's it. Love it, mate.
The same thing.
Love it, mate. Got that.
Bro, I got an iMac.
Okay, my university didn't love me that
because
much.
I had a laptop.
Yeah.
But because I was doing like a design thing, I was like, yeah, I got.
I should have just said I was doing design rather than forensics, man. But literally, they're like ergonomically designed chairs. They put on like all of my exams and stuff. Get an extra half an hour to an hour.
Trust, man.
Like,
I got a printer, a little fridge.
Exactly. You got a fridge.
Yeah, because of my medication, I have to be like refrigerated.
Not for beer.
Nah, I don't drink, bro. I've never drank.
But like literally, you'll get like various bits and pieces that they were so helpful, and they were like, here's some, like, if you feel like you're struggling, come and talk to us about it.
Exactly.
And it was like, actually, do you know what, this isn't that bad. And she sort of said, so how are you doing? Like, we've come to a therapy session. And I just sat and I went, yeah, I'm good, you? And she was like, no, this is your opportunity to talk. And I went, what about?
Yeah.
And she was like, yeah, but like, you know, you've been diagnosed with this and you're disabled, so how's that affect you emotionally? I was like, oh, I don't care. Can we wrap this up?
I was the opposite, bruv. I was going to these therapy sessions every week, like counselling, and I was pouring my heart out, bruv. And I found that helped me so much. That helped me so much. I remember so I was at Brunel, and it's the same thing, man. They were so helpful in that they provided me like the counselling, they offered me like extra exam time, the printer, they gave me a little bag so I didn't, like, with wheels on it, so I didn't have to carry it on my back.
Sick.
Like, they're sick, man, and it was like, I was so grateful. And big up to them. So my point was the counselling. Again, speaking to someone. I'm 19. I'm at uni. I've just been told I've got this thing that is going to change my life forever. I needed someone to speak to, and it wasn't at the stage where I was confident enough to speak to other people. And this was when Instagram and that stuff was just coming out, so that wasn't very popping either. There was nothing like that. So speaking to her, what was her name again, man? I can't remember, man, but she was a G.
Let's call her Karen. Or Sharon. Midjuli.
That's your mum, fam.
It's not my mum. My mum's Helen, fam.
Oh, who's Julie?
That's James's mum.
Oh, that's James's mum. Yeah, Julie. Yes, Julie. No, so I just found it so helpful. But obviously now you have equivalents in that you have like people like us. Obviously we're not trained professionals, but we can offer advice that from a perspective of someone who has gone through the same thing, man, which is slightly different. But speaking to someone is definitely advised. I definitely advise that. Is that something?
Yeah, I mean, do you know what? Even if you aren't able to speak to someone straight away, just look at what you have.
That's the situation you were in. I think you weren't ready. Were you?
Well, no. Do you know what, mate? I just went, well, there's no point moping about it. I'm just going to crack on. Yeah. Because I was quite fortunate where I could just openly chat to my family about it. And I know a lot of people that are watching this, like, may be embarrassed to tell their mum and dad about bits because you're worried about how other people are going to perceive you, and it's that level of judgment.
Life, innit?
Like, at the end of the day, you've got a family, you've got friends who are still going to love you for you. Just because you have to run off to the toilet now and again doesn't change you. Literally, it doesn't change you at all. If people view you like that, or your supposed friends, and they then start changing, you need to get rid of them. You don't need that. You need that support. But I literally said, look, I really appreciate the fact that you've put on these sessions for me, but I doubt that I'm going to actually need them. If I do need them, I'll come back to you. And she was like, look, it's always an open door. Come and speak to me if you need to. And
did you go back?
No, I didn't. I went back, like, I think in passing, I saw her when I was walking down a corridor. Yeah. And I think she was like, oh, how's everything going? I was like, yeah, really good. Like, literally, everything's fine. Just on my meds, cracking on with everything. Work's going fine. Like, university's all good, so there's no issues. She was like, good. If anything changes, let me know. And that's the side of it as well. Is that
that's what you needed to hear as well. Yeah, it's always there.
But no, yeah. I fortunately, they put on a lot for me. I didn't necessarily use all of it, but no, they were really, really helpful. So, and if you are at university at the moment and you're studying, go and speak to your local health nurses and stuff like that, and all those people that are available for you. Because unless you tell them, they won't know.
100%. You have to remember the amount of people they're dealing with. Everyone's got like a disability area or something.
Exactly. Everyone's going through shit. So everyone's going through shit.
Just go to like the disability section in your uni and they'll take care of you there, man. So you finish uni. Was it okay for the rest of the uni for you?
Yeah, I mean, it's just like anything with this illness. It fluctuates. You get good days, you get bad days. You'll get like maybe like a month or so of remission, then it kind of dips and fluctuates. So you sort of reevaluate: is it something I've eaten, or is my medication not right? Especially a lot of this is a balancing act with the meds that you're on, and that's the constant thing you'll find. But yeah, I went through a period of sort of semi-decent remission for quite a long time. I left university. Got a job, and throughout that time when I was working, it actually didn't affect me too bad. It was okay. And then that was a contract for like 18 months or so.
Sure.
And then I joined the police, became a copper.
Yeah, I remember.
That's why he didn't like me initially.
Popo. That's why we didn't chat for a year.
He's a fed.
No, I'm joking. I like feds.
And yeah, when I was in the police, it was a bit weird because you were immediately judged, sort of thing. Obviously, you had to produce your medical evidence when you're doing your tests and everything. And they were like, okay, well, you know, your class is disabled, and if things, you know, aren't necessarily going for you, like health-wise correctly, you know, we can sort of put you on light duties and stuff like that. And I was like, oh, that sounds quite good. But, you know, I wasn't treated as if, well, I wasn't helped necessarily. And it was a real downer because I remember having a conversation. I mean, this was years and years ago, but I remember having a conversation with my sergeant. He said, well, what's wrong with you, mate? Why don't you just man up and run around? And I was like, come on, mate, what are you doing?
It's that old school mentality, bro,
exactly.
Man. Get out of here, man, with that, man.
And it was like, because again, people are ignorant.
Yeah,
and that was one of them. It became a precursor about why I ended up going, do you know what? I'm not enjoying this job anyway. And if I'm not going to get the support I need, then I don't really want to carry on doing it. Yeah. So ended up leaving. Now I work for Interim, that little company.
Jeez, come on.
And couldn't be more supportive.
Amazing.
Couldn't be more supportive.
That's what you need, though, man. You need. That's the thing, that when you support your colleagues, you get the best out of them. You support your workers. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, if you're in an environment where you're comfortable, again, that's the main thing. Because I used to be a manager at a store called Island Poke, and when you make I've left it now. But when you make your staff comfortable, and they trust you, that's when you get the best out of them.
100%.
So if you're making someone feel uncomfortable, then what the hell, man? They're going to be questioning everything. They're going to be questioning you as a manager. They're going to be questioning, why am I even doing this? And when they question themselves, they're going to be like, okay, I'm not going to put all my effort in. And then it just makes you suffer as a company as well. Like your main duty should be to become accustomed and understand your staff. And yeah, brother. And then again, you just get the best out of them, bro.
Exactly. It's how it needs to be. And it's like anything, though. Just because, you know, or whatever workforce you're in, everyone's going to go through something. Just because it's not on the surface necessarily. So, you know, you should be able to go and speak to various people in HR or whatever. You know, go and talk to those. But yeah, literally since that point, they've been so overly helpful.
Amazing.
Especially with like everything that's happening sort of pre and post surgery.
Yeah, trust me.
So this is great. You can't ask for more.
Wavy.
Do you know
I'm sure there are companies and people who may be out there who are not getting as good as support as Ant or as I did, but in those situations you really need to question and maybe just go to HR, because you shouldn't be made to feel bad or as if you're doing something wrong, because this is not your fault. This is not your issue. This is not your fault. You haven't done anything wrong. So just make sure you're seeking the right advice, because your company should be supportive of you, and if they valued you, they would be. And you have to know your worth. If they're making you feel like you're worth nothing, then get out the door, man.
That's it, mate. That's it. But then, you know, if you're not happy in your work, why are you still there?
Yeah, that's the $1 million question, bro. And thankfully, I managed to get out of my thing. Like, I understood there's a means to an end. Like, since my surgery, it's all about rebuilding and finding what I want to do.
Yes, man.
And so that's one thing I learned as well. I was like, life is too short to do something you don't enjoy. I say really appreciated this. I've only really taken that advice over the last like 2-3 years. Yeah, it's so, bruv, since my surgery and I started releasing those videos, that was my goal. Yeah, man. So I was 22, no, what am I lying, bruv? 2015. So from like 2016, I've had a goal. Even before that, like before I had my surgery, I was like always into like kind of like creative stuff. I did photography, I did videography, and then I got into like presenting and hosting. And it was always my goal to do that full time. Like regardless, no matter what I did, that was my goal. That was what I was going to do. That is
well, you're good at it, mate. You've invited me on here, man. It's going well so far.
So much love for that. Don't gas me. He's going to tell me I'm crap afterwards. But
yeah, we'll put it in the edit.
Yeah. That was my goal though, and I was like, look, there's no matter what happens, that is what I want to do, and I believe that no matter what you want to do, if you become good at enough, people will pay you what you need to get paid. You'll get what you deserve. 100%. Whether it's dancing, whether it's like
acting, my man here,
whether it's like cleaning the ceiling, whatever it is, man. Whatever your skill is, if you're good enough at it, people will pay you. It's as simple as that. So there was no way I was going to settle for something I didn't want to do. Although I was doing stuff I didn't want to do, I was earning the money, and all that money was literally going back into getting cameras, going to events where I could like liaise and like network with people, get my face around there, get my name around there, create a little buzz. But this podcast has been a year in the making, man, and I've finally done it. and I'm gassed, bro. I'm gassed. But
Yeah,
again,
this is you putting your mind to it and having your positive mindset and your goals that
bruv,
you wanted
but
to
it's been
achieve.
hard, man. It's been
but nothing's
hard,
easy in
bruv.
life. If you want it, you got to work
Bruv,
for
I'm
it.
telling you, not only that, myself, like I could have done this 6 months ago, but because of my own mental internal battle, it's taken longer.
Yeah,
but
mate,
but we're here now.
Yeah.
I have to be grateful. We're here
but
now.
that's why you have to look at the fruits of your labour to say, look, you know,
I'm happy, bro.
A year ago, I wasn't in this position, and now I'm in this position. Look, I'm sitting in this sick little cafe at Joe's.
Yeah.
We're chilling out. I've got one of my mates on. We're talking about, you know, the same problems that I've been going through. Like, life couldn't be better at this stage. And if Arsenal win this afternoon, mate, it's completely set
it'll be
for you.
cherry on the top of the icing, which is on top of the second cherry, bro.
Exactly.
But yeah, so that was my main thing. Like, I was never gonna settle for something I didn't want to do. So I was always I worked in retail for like 5 years, man. 5 years. So I worked in size on Carnaby Street straight after my surgery. No.
Yeah, we met up in London, and that's what you're like.
Yeah,
we were walking around. You're like, Vans, let's go in there.
Yeah.
I
So I worked. So before my surgery, I got a job in size. I was like 23,
Mm.
and then I was there for like 2 and a bit years. Then I left. Then I went to Vans, and towards the end of my tenure at size, I had my surgery. And then I left and I went to Vans on Carnaby Street, which is like 10 doors down.
Yeah.
I was there for 2 years. From there, I became a manager at Island Poke in Shoreditch, which is like a Hawaiian restaurant. So they serve like poke bowls.
We'll come back to food.
And that was great. Yeah, we have to touch on food. And then in the background, whilst I'm working full time in all these places, I am hustling hard, bruv. I'm going out filming my own things. I'm doing radio. I'm doing TV during the day. Like, I'd have to arrange with my work so I could go present live TV on a Thursday. So I started later on that day, and then on another day I had another show. And big up to Chris and Cheese.
Big up Cheese.
And big up. They were my managers at Vans, and they were so like accommodating to my personal career goals, man. I could never have done it without, again, going back to understanding workplaces. They were so safe, bruv, and they like looked after me big time. Shout out to Valentina if she watches this. I know she's gonna be like, "Where's my shout out?" She hired me at Vans, so big up. But they were so accommodating, and they understood that like this is what I want to do. So whenever I had a show or something, even like with a week before, a couple of days before, they'd try and move everything for me, and I'd be like, man, I will always appreciate that, because now I've landed a job that I'm super gassed about, bro. So I left Island Poke like last week, and I start my new job in September, and it is creative based. So I'm going to be getting paid to do podcasts, bruv. So something like this for another company, and bruv, now my 9 to 5 will be creative. Outside will be creative. I'm fully immersed in that sphere. And it's taken time, bro. It's taken 5.5 years. But I'm here now.
But isn't the journey worth it?
The journey has been worth it, bro. The hustle, the people I've met along the way, like the friends I've made, the self-development that I've been on, like, it's crazy, bro. But again, I wouldn't change anything.
No.
I would not change anything.
So for everyone that's watching this at the moment, and you're sitting there going, wow, what a story. I want to do something like that. I want to do something creative. Take this as your self-starter to be like, do you know what? I've just listened to Moeed and Ant. Moe just told me about how he's done all these various bits and pieces, and his dream has finally been realised over 5 years. You've got a 5-year plan. Stick that at the end of it as your goal, and be like, well, he's the inspiration for it, so I will make that target.
And we're older as well. So there's people I'm talking to at 2021. I'm like, bro, you got time, man. You got time.
You're still a kid.
Genuinely, but I feel like a kid. Man's 28, bruv. I'm moving reckless.
I'm 27.
Yeah, I'm moving like a kid, fam. It's crazy. Again, I feel like that whole period where I was really sick, my mental development, like I still feel like a child sometimes, a bit immature. But this is just me. And again, it's just, I would never have, like, this opportunity that I have now, this new job, it just fell into my lap, bro.
Yeah, mate.
And it's just like, you got to make all the stars align and play the chessboard correct so that you open the trapdoor and the thing is
well, I was going to say, did it fall into your lap, or was it because of the hard work that you did to then put yourself in that position to then find that job, or for it to be offered to you?
Well, again, you're correct, bro. All the hard work I did was the reason I got the job. I'm saying the opportunity fell into my lap.
Yeah.
And I applied for it. But the only reason I got the job because I was qualified and I was good enough to do it.
Exactly.
So yeah, bruv, you gassed me up, man. You're right. It's
because of you, mate, and how the stuff you have done to get to where you need to be.
And most of the stuff which I put on, because they wanted a 1-page CV, so it was very small. So I had to literally put all the relevant experience, and all of that relevant experience was stuff I did in my own time.
Yeah,
it was nothing I did paid. Most of it was unpaid, but it was all relevant, and it was all stuff I took time out to do. And I was like, yo, this is what I want to do. I know it's going to help me eventually. And look, it has, and I'm getting paid, bruv, to make for a massive company to make like podcasts, bro. It's
so 2 weeks to start?
I start on the 3rd of September.
Buzzing, mate.
Fam,
mate, I'll text you on the day.
Gas,
Wish
bruv.
you luck. Call me
I'll
when
be
you're
Shoreditch.
done.
I'll be based in Shoreditch. That's where the head office is.
Nice, man.
Again, it's for a massive company. It's like a collaboration between this specific company and Brent, which is like the borough we're in.
Yeah, what,
and
the council? Or?
Yeah, so basically they got voted Borough of Culture for 2020. Right. So they got like a budget to spend, and this is like one of the projects. Sick. And obviously, you know, the 2020 Euro finals are going to be in Wembley.
I didn't, but I do now.
The football.
Oh, yeah,
so
yeah.
the semis.
And
so it's throughout Europe.
Yeah.
So they got matches in Paris and Amsterdam, all over Europe, and then the semi-finals and the finals are in Wembley. So, excuse me, it all kind of ties up to like ending up there, and then oh man, next year is gonna be so sick, bruv. Like I'm so gassed.
2020 is gonna be your.
I love where I come from as well, bruv. Wembley, Northwest, Brent, bruv. This borough is sick. Like it's just the best, man, and I'm so happy. And again, it's all led to this kind of thing now, and I'm happy for you personally that you're slowly beginning to understand that, bruv, life is what we make of it, and we have to enjoy ourselves. And I think once you've managed to recover from this surgery, you're going to take the correct steps to suit yourself, man, to benefit yourself, to achieve what you want to achieve and live the lifestyle you want to live. Because ultimately, bruv, we work to live, man. You don't live to work. Do you know what I'm saying?
I was going to say that earlier. Saying that's exactly right, because you've got people that are going to sit here and be like, yeah, but I have to go and pay the bills. But if you hate your life and your job because you're not getting supported, especially with this condition, what's the point?
Sleep less, bruv. Ultimately, you got to sleep less, man. Go to work, do the job you hate, but then for 3 or 4 hours afterwards, you got to hustle and do something you enjoy and build a platform for yourself to eventually, like the scales are like this. So you're working in a dead job you hate and doing stuff you like, and then you got to slowly build it over a period of, again, it was like this for me, 5 years. It's gone like that now.
It was 8 hours of sleep. 8 hours of work. There's 8 hours to run around and do what you want.
Bruv, go out less, bruv. There was about a year where I was going out less. I was spending no money. Like I don't even believe in New Year's resolution, but I didn't buy any shoes this year, and I buy shoes all the time, bruv.
I was gonna say last year, mate, you kept telling me like, look at my crep.
Yeah, no.
Look at them, man.
This guy, like. So the last pair of shoes I bought was on the 31st of August. 31st of December last year. Mate, and I have not, and all that money adds up, man. I managed to buy all this equipment. You know, I'm buying less clothes for myself. I like fashion and I like going out and I like looking how I look. I enjoy dressing myself, but as in I got a bigger goal, I get a bigger picture. I know when eventually, inshallah, this thing gets signed or whatever, or I get sponsors, that's when I can start spending the money.
Exactly, mate.
Do you know what I'm saying? There's a bigger goal, there's a bigger picture, and you, again, going back, you got to take one step back to go 2 steps forward. And I believe that's in every aspect of life, man.
Well, I was going to say though, because obviously like having a bag and pre-bag, post-bag, etc. What was that like when you had to like first go and buy more clothes and shopping and things like that? Because this is something that I'm kind of conscious of. Because not like
you wear quite tight stuff, man.
Well, it's slightly looser. But what's it like when you're sort of? That's because my mum says I've lost weight. What's it like when you're having to go to shops and try clothes on?
That's a good question, bro. That's a very good question.
Thanks,
because
man.
Again,
maybe I should do my own podcast.
Bro, maybe. Man's showing me up, bro. I feel like I'm the guest. No, so again, this is something that you kind of forget, but now you've said it. I remember I was super nervous and I was very conscious about the way I looked and about the stoma bag. So I intentionally bought baggier t-shirts.
Yeah.
And that's my style now. I prefer it just because of the comfort. But as in, I was wearing like mediums, which are a bit more tight. Now I wear large, minimum, large or XL. But as in, again, the whole fact about how I look is out the window. It's nothing to do with that. I just prefer the look of larger shirts now. But as something I really had to kind of like battle with initially. Yeah. And because I never used to wear a support belt, I used to literally have the stoma bag hanging. But now I wear a belt which kind of tucks everything in.
Would you recommend a belt then?
I prefer it, man. Yeah, I prefer it. I like it. So basically, it's a little white thing here. And you basically just
okay.
Put it up.
Cool.
Now the bag's a bit full, but so I wear them. Yeah, I wear them all the time. You can get like nude colors. You can get the white one. I prefer the white one. Oh, I don't know why, but it doesn't really matter about the color. But as in, it just adds a bit more stability to the whole thing. But yeah, no, the clothes was a massive factor, and then like I put on a bit of weight as well. So I had like my pre-Crohn's clothes, and then had Crohn's clothes because obviously I was so much skinnier.
Yeah.
I had to like buy a whole new wardrobe. Smaller trousers, smaller shirts, smaller belts, smaller everything. And then again, now obviously I'm fat again. So now
you're not fat, man. You're not fat.
And now I just wear like baggier stuff, man. And again, that's another thing. It's all about comfort, man. I just wear what I'm comfortable with, man, and that's what I enjoy, bro. These shorts are elasticated, man. I love them. This t-shirt is a large. It's busting the logo.
Mate, it's fresh. The t-shirts are fresh.
Don't worry, you're gonna get your one as well, my GG.
That wasn't a hint. Like, I want one right now. Where is it? I want to wear it.
You're gonna get it. Don't worry, man.
No, because the only reason why is again, like there's loads of things that you think about and go, well, actually, you have to change that now. You've had surgery.
See,
so do you have to or not?
I don't think you will have to, bro. I don't change yourself, man. Again, it's about you.
I'm not gonna wear extra small t-shirts.
Yeah. Man's gonna wear even. But forget shit. Man's gonna come topless, bro. No shirt.
Run around, mate. That'd be fun when I'm at work.
So yeah, I wouldn't change anything, bro. Just be you.
Cool.
Wear the belt. I think the belt helps because it just keeps it all slimlined. But yeah, just be you, man.
Nice,
but
man.
Talking about bodies, man, obviously you got a fantastic build, you know what I'm saying? So
Stop it.
that's something I actually I used to go to the gym before my surgery. Whilst I was living with Crohn's, I was going like 5 times a week, and I got a decent body. But again, with this whole thing, like I lost it ASAP because I went through a time where I was feeling sick. So how do you, every time I've seen you, obviously I don't want to be naive and say you always I'm sure you felt up and down, but you've always had this kind of like good physical body.
Thank you, mate.
How do you maintain that? Is it difficult to maintain? What is your training schedules like? Like, how does that all work whilst you encompass, obviously, the condition we live with?
Do you know what? It is a battle. I mean, it's only a couple of years ago where I was unhappy with the way that I looked at myself, and I was like, I don't feel confident with this, especially with colitis as well. I was like, I need to change this. So I was like, right, I'm going to make a conscious decision. I'm going to get fitter and leaner, and put on a bit of muscle and stuff like that. And then slowly got into exercise and stuff. Anyone that's looking to get into exercise and various bits and pieces, like if you've got this condition, you have to listen to what your body is telling you first. Don't just run into the gym, start lifting weights, because your recovery times, your periods that you're going to need to get yourself to the gym and when you work out are going to be so much more different that the geezer that's running around on Instagram being like, yeah, you want to lift like 15s, bro, and then you want to like do this exercise. The way that your body reacts is completely different to his. Yeah. But it's like you'll struggle with it. You'll struggle with the daily setup because the amount of energy you've got to put into that workout, and then to go and recover, you're going to take longer to recover. So start really, really low and just slowly build things up. For me personally, the sort of process of finding a balance, it took a long time to get to. I started training quite hard, like early on, like right, I'll go 6-7 times a week. Like I literally didn't have a rest day. Well, the rest days were I'd end up doing a run or something like that. Yeah. And then I thought, that's too much. So then I cut it back, just started doing 4 days a week. And I wanted to put on a lot of weight, so just did like sort of very weighted workouts, sort of low reps and stuff. I was trying to eat as much as I could. But when you have this condition, as you know, like it's so hard to keep weight on. It's so hard to keep everything going. And that's the difficulty with it. So I got to, I don't know, the heaviest I weighed was last year. I got to about 80 kilo, which is quite good.
How tall are you?
5'10", 5'11".
So you're a bit taller than me, aren't you?
Just a little
80
bit.
kilo is good because you're quite lean as well, aren't it?
Well, at that stage, I was trying to put on a lot of weight.
So you're like bulking and all that.
Well, at the time, I was,
yeah.
And then I got a bit leaner, and then I had a flare. And I dropped all the way down to 68 kilo.
Yo, that's mad.
And then I've got back up to 75. But I've kind of my weight will continuously fluctuate.
Yeah, of course.
That's the problem.
Of course, yeah.
And if you are going to get into fitness side of it, I wouldn't look at weight necessarily. I'd look at what's your goal. If you want to get leaner, or if you want to get fitter, like do you want to put on muscle, or do you want to put on increase your cardiovascular fitness or whatever? Do little planned stages, and just simply just do the work. But take your time with it. The other side of it as well is food, because you could have the best gym program in the entire world universe. We're gonna get into food right now, and you just go, I'm just going to go Burger King every night. Which you can't do.
No. Last thing I want to touch on gym quickly. Actually, I can't remember what I was going to say, bro. Touching on what you said. Yeah, everyone is different. Your body is different. You have to find a plan that suits you. If your best friend who's skinny than you is lifting 20s and you can only lift 15, lift the 15, man. You got to build a base for yourself. You can't build a house on sand. Do you know what I'm saying? You got to build a solid base, a solid foundation for yourself, and then take it from there.
100%.
And that's one thing, again, I had to learn. Yo, look, my body is me. This is me. I have to do what suits me best. Me.
And it will take so much time. The problem is you can't have a quick fix, and hopefully you should. People watching this who've got this condition should already have that mentality.
My hair keeps getting stuck in this bloody thing, man. I feel like I'm caught in a spider's web. I'm just getting caught onto this thing, blood.
But yeah, everything will take time. You look at training programs, and it's like, oh, get fit in 3-4 weeks. Like the reality is that's never going to happen. If you're going to get into training and you want to cut down and get a 6-pack or whatever, if you've got a 12-week program, why don't you aim for 16 or even 24 weeks or something like that? Because the time it's going to take you to recover.
I think time is not even a thing, bro, man.
There
should be no time limit. It should be, okay, I want a 6-pack, full stop.
Yeah.
And then what do I need to do that? And so again, abs are made in the gym, in the kitchen, right?
100%.
So that's what we're going to touch on now. But food, how
food.
important is, well, bruv, this guy, you need to follow this guy on Instagram. This past few weeks, fam, I've been watching your Instagram, the food, fam. I've been licking the screen on my phone, fam. It is mad, blood. You're a little chef.
Well, no.
How did you get into that?
Food-wise? I don't know. My parents had a pub, and I helped out a couple of days as a pot wash.
Jeez.
And it was like, just do that and prep. And I've never been taught how to cook. I've never done anything with it. It was just, okay, we'll watch MasterChef. Oh, that seems to work. Why don't we just try it? So it was just doing little bits and pieces like that. And then, I don't know, in the last sort of year or so, because I've been ill, I haven't been able to sort of do as much gym work, and my focus has been, well, yeah, the gym stuff's great, but what else can I expand into? What else can I go into? So it was like, well, why not do much more about food? And literally, I've just been going through various pages and go, well, there's a recipe. Why not try that?
Yeah.
Why not do this? Last week I made, homemade ravioli.
That's what I was going to say, bro. That looked lit. That looked so good, man.
Mate, I'm not going to lie.
What was inside it?
So it was spinach ricotta, bit of garlic. That was on the inside.
I'm telling you, man, it looked like an M&S advert, fam, when I saw that plate, bruv. It looked sick. It looked sick. I don't want to gas you, bruv. I'm so hungry right now. Actually, we're gonna get food after.
I'm absolutely happy.
We're gonna get food after.
But literally, I just asked one of the women at work. She's a lovely Italian lady, and I said, "Have you actually got a recipe to make pasta?" So I wanted to make it from scratch. I was like, I can see how to do it, but have you got an authentic recipe? And I tweaked her recipe. I was like, well, I'm going to put garlic in it rather than, she didn't have garlic in it. And I was like, that's just the ravioli. I'm going to make it with prawns on top, carrots, onions, garlic, bit of tomatoes, the juice from the ravioli, bit of white wine, fried it all off.
Yeah.
It was unbelievable.
So yeah,
honestly, I ate it and I was like, I didn't expect it to be this
Next
good.
time you come, you got to bring some food, but Sian's got
100%.
some allergies, so you got to take that
That's
into
cool,
account.
man. That's cool. That's cool. I can do that.
Yeah.
But literally, it's only because, especially with this condition, you've got to work out what you can eat and
so
can't
did the
eat.
whole food thing for you come about because of the fact that you could eat or so little or like much less than you wanted to, or was it something you already you had a passion about anyway?
No, I've always had a passion about food, but it was kind of like, well, why not actually just go and start doing it now? Do you know what I mean? Just run around with it. And I know loads of people out there have got restricted diets and they're like, well, I can't eat this and I can't eat that. So the foods that you can eat, why not just look around recipes for that? So you can still enjoy food. You don't have to have the same humdrum thing.
Trust me.
I can't stand people that go, what have you got for lunch? I've got cheese sandwich.
Oh, so dead.
What are you doing? Do you not?
Not even, what are you
do
going
you have
to?
any taste
are you
buds?
dropping your son off to like year 3 or something, bruv?
Mum, can you cut the crusts off?
That's a joke thing. Man got a cheese sandwich, fam. You might as well eat sawdust, bruv.
Dead.
Man, them still eating cheese sandwiches, bruv. Oh my days, bruv. Is that actual a thing, bruv? People eat.
Yeah.
Still.
Yeah.
Not even a ploughman's.
It's long. But literally, it's like, well, you should be able, like, look, with our condition, like especially pre-surgery and stuff like that. Well, for me anyway, anything that I eat is going to come out the same way. So I might as well enjoy the front end process of eating it. Do you know what I mean? I can enjoy the cooking and the eating part of it. It's going to end up the same way later on anyway. I'm going to have to run off, but I want to make sure that food tastes good. Because if I'm going to put stuff in me, I want it to be good and it be healthy, not just I'm going to go McDonald's every day.
Nah, man, do you still find, even though you're cooking pretty healthy food, that it affects you negatively, or?
What do you mean, like
as in
body-wise?
as in having to go to the bathroom urgently? Or do
not
you find
really.
So it's helping? You definitely think it's helping?
Yeah.
That's
I think
a good thing.
if anything, it's more because you go, I don't know, if you went to a restaurant or something, you'll be like, can you not put chili flakes in it, or can you not put this ingredient in it? So when you know like what your trigger foods are, when you avoid them and you can just start cooking around it, you're like, do you know what? Like, actually, I can make an incredibly delicious meal by doing this and this.
100%.
A lot of it is trial and error though, because you won't realise it's trial and error. So you may, I don't know, we made dessert the other night. And I was like, oh, this is delicious. And then the day after, I was like, oh, I didn't quite sit right. So
tweak
it might
it.
be that exactly. Just tweak it and change it. So, but yeah, no, I've agreed to do a couple of dinners this week for some
Sick,
people.
man.
So
That's
that'll
really
be
good,
fun.
bro, man. I rate that for sure. You just got to take control, haven't you? And
Like
you have to
anything.
understand that there are options out there. You just have to be willing to get off your
Mm.
ass and find them.
Well, I was
or
going to
look
ask
for
you,
them.
mate. What was it like for you, food-wise and stuff like that?
What before?
Yeah,
Before was hopeless, bro. Hopeless, fam. I can't remember, but I could have counted the things I could eat on both my hands,
Mm.
man. It was terrible. Like I wasn't eating like anything with wheat or gluten in it. I was avoiding fizzy drinks. Obviously, I don't drink them anymore. But as in, people should avoid that stuff anyway because that is basically poison.
It's just pure sugar.
It's
mate.
just
pure sugar.
and sugar is like the biggest drug in the world.
Mhm.
Like the most people addicted are probably to sugar.
Well, that and alcohol.
Yeah,
Literally.
alcohol, bro. It's a joke thing as well. I don't drink alcohol. I don't smoke anything.
Mm.
I don't have fizzy drinks. At the time, I do that now, but as in obviously at the time before my surgery, I was doing those. I wasn't doing those.
Mm.
I wasn't eating. I couldn't eat any red meat. I couldn't eat any dairy. I couldn't eat anything that was like hard to digest, basically.
So has your bag transformed your life in regards to food?
100% now. Now I'm eating
No,
too
mate,
much,
like,
fam.
My life is just gonna explode.
my right now, bro. I'm eating too much, fam.
Oh,
I'm eating
I
too
don't
much
care,
of
I don't
everything.
care.
Like I'm trying to avoid dairy because I'm becoming more of like a ethical eater.
Mhm.
Obviously each to their own. If you want to eat dairy, that's your whatever. That's cool, whatever.
Has
but for
dairy
me-
affected you with your Crohn's
Yeah,
as well?
as in I avoid dairy at all costs.
Yeah, yeah.
In terms of milk specifically.
Mm, mm.
Obviously, it's very difficult to when you go out to avoid things with milk in it.
Mm.
But I try to anyway because I feel like if I'm gonna do it again, it's all in or what's the point?
Yeah.
So I'm trying to stop eating cheese. I bought vegan cheese recently. It actually was quite nice.
Was it?
It was banging.
Do you know it is improving now because more and more people are going
Yeah,
vegan?
bruv.
Like the options as well are so much better.
Bruv, it's crazy, man.
Mm.
And again, this whole ethical thing, man, like, especially what's happening in the Amazon rainforest right now, but
Oh,
it's
do you
burning
know what?
down
This
because
is
of people
winding
want to
me
do
up.
like cattle farming and shit like that. Like, I'm
It's
just
not. It's
about
not
that.
even just that. It doesn't get any news coverage. I haven't seen it. It's hardly
Bruv,
any news
after
coverage
that,
at all.
yeah,
Do you know what I mean?
it's
It's just a
nuts,
couple of
man.
people stick it on Twitter and they're going right, cool. This is me making you aware. And let's go back to Instagram.
Yeah, it's
What
just
can I buy
mad.
this weekend? No one's changing it.
I
That's the
joined a
problem.
couple groups and there's like loads of things I shared on Insta actually, which are like places you can donate to kind of people who are active. Because at first I was like, I'm helpless. What can I do, bruv?
Mm.
I live on the other side of the world. What am I going to carry a bucket of water there and just dash it on a plant, fam? What can I do? These
No.
are wildfires, fam.
Exactly.
Raging wildfires.
Just get involved in those charity bits.
So-
Like one thing my brother got us, the 4Ocean plastic thing. Take the
Sick.
plastic out of the ocean and you make it
Sick.
into
See,
little
I'm
bands.
the same as well. I
Love it.
I try and avoid all single-use plastic.
Yeah. Well, mate, I'll
Um,
recycle this.
Yeah.
I'm going to use this as a gym bottle.
Yeah, exactly.
Do you know what I mean?
yeah,
I'll
yeah,
use
yeah.
that for a couple of weeks and then it starts to smell and you're like, right, now throw it away. Do
Mm.
you know what I mean?
As in, I try and like even plastic. Like I've become, if I see plastic, I'm just like not a fan, fam. I try and do everything that's non-plastic. Just because of the planet, bro. I don't want people to think that I'm some tree hugger or something. I'm just trying to do my part. If I don't need it, then why am I gonna use
100%,
it?
mate.
I don't need to eat meat. Like I haven't eaten red meat in ages. Chicken I haven't had in ages.
Do you eat fish or not?
Fish I had recently. Again, that's just something I'm trying to jump off as well. To be honest.
I mean, sort of meats and stuff anyway. When you had your surgery, what did that open in regards to like food
Everything.
avenues
I can
and
eat
stuff?
anything I want.
So there's no side effects.
I
You have
can
got
eat-
no real pains
so yeah,
or
obviously,
things,
some things may give you a little. Ooh, what was that?
Mm.
Or like you understand about that. You learn a lot more about You learn a lot more about digestion. Sorry, you learn a lot more about digestion. So I would eat a lot. I would eat quite soon before bed, and then I'd wake up and my bag was like
Be
gonna pop, fam. Pop like Pringles. Like it was on the verge of exploding. So I learned that obviously don't eat too soon before you go to sleep because your digestion will happen and at like 3-4 a.m. it'll be full.
Yeah.
So I kind of avoid that.
What time are you eating
Onions.
now?
So 8-9 o'clock.
Oh, so it's still not. That's
Yeah, and then
that's not late.
I just make sure I empty my bag
pre-bed.
before I go to bed.
Yeah.
So it's completely empty.
Sweet.
And then the onions and stuff like that, they're very gaseous foods, so they
Yeah.
tend to like inflate the bag quite a lot as well. So you just kind of learn these things as you go
Cool.
along. But yeah, in terms of diet, bro, I can eat whatever I want.
Amazing.
Literally anything.
Honestly,
And I have no pain whatsoever.
Right. Coffee.
Yeah.
All good. Oh, mate,
But I don't drink coffee anyway. I don't like it.
that's fine.
I don't drink. I don't.
We're
drink
not
coffee
going to
at all.
meet eye to eye on everything.
No, but as in,
That's
like,
fine.
I can't give you like a proper answer on that.
No,
'cause
no.
I've since my
man.
surgery, I've probably like 3.
Yeah,
cups
but
of
what I
coffee.
mean is you haven't gone right. It's
Well, it's a
causing
natural.
issues or
It's a
stuff
natural
like
laxative anyway, so you're probably gonna just
that.
do.
That's fine.
But as in, you got a bag anyway, and there's sometimes where, say for example, I eat something and the consistency of my bag is different. I'm like, yo, cool. So that would have given me diarrhea.
Right, cool.
Because I can feel it and I can see it, and I do get sometimes a tummy ache.
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay, cool. I've got to avoid that again. But that happens so I could probably count it on my one hand the amount of times it's happened since my surgery.
Okay.
So very rarely.
What's it been like? What I was going to say is with your bag and stuff like that. Like what? How is it like with the products? Because I know when you go, they gave me like a brochure, and they were like, you can try like, you know, not to plug names, but like Coloplast salts, like various other bits.
Brother, I started with Coloplast and I haven't changed since.
I mean, is that just because it
just suits
well,
my needs, man? Yeah. The main issue I had was the first year I was getting the wrong shaped bag for my body.
Okay.
So I'd get leaks. I'd have to change the bag every day.
Okay.
And I was like, this is a bit weird, but it's cool. And another thing going slightly back was that my stoma nurse. I haven't seen a stoma nurse. Like I had to physically go to the hospital. You're meant to have a local stoma nurse to contact, which is someone you need to contact ASAP. And I contacted her. I remember, I think in December of my surgery, and I never heard of her since then. Wow. So that's like 4 years. Wow. So I literally took to the hospital directly. No, it's bad.
Oh,
man.
bad.
It's
no, I thought it meant good. No, good as in
but it's bad because there was no communication. Say for example, I had any issues, I had to talk to the hospital directly, which they were happy to help. Lila, happy again, but it should be someone I can talk to a lot more locally, like within your area which you live in. So that's something I'd say you need to kind of form a relationship with her.
I've got Karen. Where you at, my girl?
Big up, Karen.
It's Karen and a few others that.
Sick.
I think Lizzie's another one. They're literally. Do you know, it's the weirdest thing when you go and meet your stoma nurse. It's so weird because they're so kind, and it's like.
Oh man, honestly, yeah.
It's your job is we're going to go through some life-changing stuff in a minute. And you're like, oh yeah, I am. Like, this is getting real.
Trust me.
Like the day that I went to go speak to them, I was like, yeah, this shit's actually real now. Yeah. Like this isn't. There's no turning back. You know, you do your pre-assessment bits and pieces, but that's like standard every time you go to your doctors anyway.
I'm telling you now, man, you're going to see the light at the end of the tunnel, fam, and I'm going to be there to help you, bro, and there's going to be plenty of people.
Mate, I'm going to rely on you. I'm literally going to be sitting and be like...
Block, delete. Who's this guy, fam?
This podcast, mate. What's this about? Keeps coming up on my feed.
Yeah, trust me. No, it's going to be sick, man. It's going to be sick. But yeah, in terms of products and stuff, there's a vast range. There's so much stuff available. And that's probably one thing I could have done a bit better in terms of like trying a lot more things. But I found my routine and I found my thing and I'm happy with it.
But you found what's worked for you. So
exactly. But there could be potentially something that could work a bit better. But so initially you got to find the bag that fits you. So when you're in hospital after your surgery, ask for slightly different shaped bags and stuff. Okay. Again, it's very difficult to judge at the start because it will change so much from the first week to like
swollen, won't it?
Like 2 or 3 months later. So you just move. You go as you go along. You just move. I'd suggest just getting the flat one at the start and then take it as it goes along. You don't want anything with a peg on it and stuff. You want this a Velcro one. I know people use the one where they have a peg. Fam, this is not like Amish. We're not an Amish society, fam.
Wow.
Yeah, they literally like peg it closed or something.
No, thank you.
So these Coloplast bags, they're waterproof. They're grey. You can get them in different sizes. Neutral colour.
Well, do you know what? Coloplast and a couple other companies have been they sent me loads of pre-surgery packs.
Sick, that's good.
So you get a little rubber stoma, stick that on,
and
then I put on a couple of bags and I'll put it on for like a day and a bit. And do you know what? That actually reaffirmed like why I want to do this.
That's so
it
good,
was
man.
so positive.
That's so good, man.
Yeah,
that's a good shout out to Coloplast for doing that, man. Big up, man.
And
I think that's something they did recently because I never got that.
It's honestly that mentally prepared me so much more.
Again,
and that was like, do you know what? This isn't that bad. It just feels like you've got a sticker on.
Literally, but even now, like I can't feel nothing.
Yeah.
As in,
well, that's good though. That's what I mean. You get so used to it.
It's a bit weighted because my breakfast is coming through, but bro, man. I'm telling you, I'm super happy for you as well, man. You deserve it. You deserve to live pain free. You know what I'm saying?
I think. Do you know what?
And I'm waiting for my meal. You're gonna make me as well, bro. Me and
mate, what you want, I'll cook it. Whatever you want, we'll make it. I'll cook it here. But literally, like that will be. The fact that I won't be in pain anymore, which is as big as it is. And I was saying it, some woman at work was chatting to me about this the other day, and she was like, "So you in pain all the time?" I was like, "Yeah, like all the time." It's just manageable. And then you get days which are really bad, and you get days that aren't bad. It's like, you hide it so well.
It's not even about hiding. It's just you got to keep it moving.
Yeah, what can I do?
Yeah, what can you do?
Am I going to sit here and cry?
Exactly.
What's that going to result?
You don't crumble. Exactly. What's it going to do is make you more tired and more hurt.
More irritable.
Didn't. So, no, actually not irritable, because IBS is something different, bro. No.
Yeah, this is one key. This thing is very, very key. IBS and IBD are not related at all. And
very different.
It's when people say, oh yeah, but IBS, like, it's basically the same thing. No. I mean, you've got similar symptoms in the sense where you've got an urgency, you need to go to the toilet, but it's not the same thing.
Exactly.
And if doctors are giving you that opinion that it's IBS, you can ask for a second opinion and do go and get that second opinion.
Again, now I think it's slightly changed where the procedure is a lot more thorough, and I think they're a lot more open to the fact that people may have IBD or IBD basically. So that's a good thing for sure.
Something that I saw a while ago is they're now using what do you call it? They're actually giving colitis patients stoma bags as a form of treatment at an early stage, rather than having to go through all of the drugs.
Swear.
Yeah, because long term, it actually costs them about the same money or less money if they're going to be going through, all these other like really strong drugs. Like
that's crazy. That's crazy. That's like. Well, if it's working for them, and again, the NHS is in such a dire state right now, they need to save as much money as they can, whilst helping people. So, big up to them, man. Big up to them. Big up to them. So, what's the first thing you're looking forward to eating once you have your surgery?
Do you know what? At the moment, there's nothing that I don't eat, sort of thing. But I know it's more to do with like when we're going through. I don't know. If I want to go for a curry.
Yeah,
I love my spicy food.
Come to my house.
I'll be there.
Curry,
I'll be there.
I'm telling you now, fam.
I'll be there.
I'm gonna make a curry for you, man. Hopefully, I won't poison you, bro.
No, mate. Do you know what? I really want to have a curry that I can eat it and go. I don't have to run off in a minute.
Yeah, exactly.
I can have it with a beer.
Yeah.
And naan breads and all these other bits
beer
and
in
pieces.
my house,
No. But do you know what I mean? But well done. Go put your foot back in there, mate. Well done.
We'll go to like a.
No. Like literally, just to have something that I can eat. And I know that's a trigger food, and I know that it won't matter. So I'll be like, I will have some chili flakes on my avocado,
yeah, exactly.
please. Thank you so much.
Sick.
And then you eat it, and you're like, I don't care. I don't care. Like, I haven't got to run off. There's no urgency. I think that would be the biggest thing. Is just going.
It adds control, man.
Yeah.
It gives you control of something you should have control of.
Yeah.
And I think that's going to be very refreshing for you.
I mean, there's going to be things that I won't be able to eat necessarily straight away. Like, we can't have sweet corn. Oh, I don't care.
But I eat sweet corn.
Yeah, who cares?
It comes out, I squeeze it.
Yeah.
So I've got this bad habit, bro. I've got this bad habit. My boy keeps telling me. So, man, I am going to sound like such a weirdo, bro. But I'm going to say it anyway. So I've got this super bad habit with my stomach. Whenever I eat something, every now and again I like start feeling. And then if there's like some food that's not digested, I just squish it, bro. It is the maddest thing ever, bro. And my boy's like, what the hell are you doing, fam? He's like, it looks like you're fondling yourself. Because obviously people might not know I got a stoma. Yeah, so it looks like I'm playing with myself.
That's true.
Which is peak. But I have this bad habit where now nothing's here. It's all porridgey. But as in, where I will grab something that's not digested and I just crash it.
So when you came out of hospital and stuff like that, like they give you like a little diet list to say these are things you shouldn't really go through and stuff. Like what was that like for you? Like, did you have to change things much?
They did that whatsoever.
Oh, really?
I was silly, man. I was like, first thing I ate whilst I was in hospital was a fillet of fish, bruv, and chips from McDonald's.
Why fillet of fish? Why?
I just eat the fish from McDonald's, innit? I don't eat the meat and stuff.
Yeah, true.
So then I ate it and...
no, I meant why McDonald's?
Oh, I just wanted it.
Oh, right.
I thought I was a big boy. I thought I was a big boss. It was like the day after the surgery, so I felt fantastic because of the anesthetic. I was like, I'm the boss out here, blood. Went to McDonald's, ate it. I think I threw it up the next day.
Oh, damn.
And then I was like, okay, now's a wake-up call because, again, the anesthetic's gone. And every time I cough or laugh, I got pain. So, again, it was... I was making up for lost time, I'm not going to lie to you. For the first 3 months, I ate anything and everything I could. Anything and everything.
We were saying earlier about scones and stuff like that. Yeah,
bruv. I had about, I'd say a minimum 10 a week. I'd have 3 a day. Like more than fruit. I was literally eating them non-stop, man. I'd buy the packs like this big.
You have to get it to Scones Anonymous, mate.
I've had to stop eating them. I stopped eating them, like, to be honest. I haven't eaten them. I've probably eaten enough for the rest of my life in that 3 month period. But as in, I just...
2 years sober.
Yeah. 2 years sober, literally.
Scone sober.
Oh,
So proud of you, man. You've come
bro,
so
trust
far.
me, man. Them scones, man. Every time I walk past them in the aisle, I'm just like...
Starts twitching.
So, yeah, no, I just made up for lost time. I ate everything I could. But then I understood, okay, look, I want to... Even though I've got the stomach and what I want, I still want to live a healthy lifestyle. So I would eat a lot more of just like much more nutritionally beneficial foods rather than crap.
What's your diet like now then?
Up and down, man, in terms of not good, as in good and bad. As in I do eat, because I do a lot of this stuff and I'm always on the road. I don't really have time to cook.
Isn't it? Yeah.
It's very difficult. So I try and get like the healthiest stuff I can. I always go for the vegan or veggie option if they have one over meat. Just because that's just what I like.
Of course,
So I eat a lot of falafel. I eat a lot of hummus. What else do I eat a lot of? Oats.
Oats are good.
Peanut butter.
Oh, mate, I'll send you the baked oat recipe that I
Yeah,
did
bro.
the other day.
I love that stuff, man.
That's delicious, man.
I love all that kind of stuff. Flapjacks.
Mate.
Bruv. So I'd have a major sweet tooth in it. Pastries and me.
Do you know what, mate? What we'll do is we'll go
We
to
get
Borough
on
Market.
Bruv.
All of the food around there.
Bruv, I'm not paying £6 for a croissant, fam.
No, I'll buy it for you, fam. I'll buy it for you.
No, it's not even about
So
that, man.
good.
It's principle, fam. But yeah, no, we'll go there. We'll go there one day. It's a day out.
I'll tell you what, we'll do podcasts on the road.
Yeah.
We'll do a foodie day.
Yeah, we could
How
do
does that sound?
Yeah. Or we could just do a normal video and just film it.
Well, yeah. Oh, yeah, podcast on the road.
Yeah,
just take that camera with us and run off.
Literally.
That'd be
That's sick, man.
But yeah, that's the main thing.
I think it's...
Yeah, I mean, a lot of this as well with food especially is that you have lots of people on this. Again, this is a massive decision about having surgery. I don't have to not restrict anything.
100%.
I can go and eat what I want.
Exactly.
And that freedom.
That freedom is what life is all about, man. And
I'm kind of planning this, like my first meal, to be like, if you're on death row, what would you have as your last meal? I'm trying to do that. Like, what's going to be my first meal that I eat?
Yeah.
Obviously, like, it's going to be okay. I might build it up.
Yeah, take it easy, man.
I don't know, man. I'm thinking about
the first
like
meal is going to be your first meal is going to be hospital food, bro.
Yeah. No. I'm not having that.
But hospital food is dead.
Yeah, I'm not having that. No, I'm not having my first meal post surgery. As here goes some cold, dirty.
But you're not going to want to eat anything, and you're going to have something kind of soft as well. It might be soup or something. Have some soup.
Yeah, but even then, I'll get someone to bring me some soup.
Yeah.
Like homemade.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Loads of nice
Sick.
stuff.
So yeah, man. I think that's been an enlightening conversation.
This is it. We're gonna wrap it up.
I think
we
so.
could chat
man.
for hours, though.
We could chat for hours, man. But as in, I wanted to keep some stuff so that once you have your surgery, I'm really looking forward to hearing your experience from then. So your surgery in October time, towards the end of October.
Yeah. I mean, because I've got holidays planned. It was initially start of June, middle of June, start of July, middle of July, start of August, middle of August. It's been pushed back so much that I'm going on holiday first week of October.
Yeah.
And I've paid lots of money for it, so I don't want it to be
it's your 30th, isn't it?
ruined. Yeah.
Jeez,
I'm getting old.
the Frio
Getting
blood.
Getting old.
Come on.
Getting old. Body of a 30-year-old man, colon of an 18-year-old man. But I said, look, I've paid so much money for it. I don't want to do this in this sort of stage. So can I cancel it and do it after? And they're like, yeah, fine. Here's some steroids. Your steroid treatment's 6 weeks.
Yeah.
After that 6 weeks of it, we'll book you in for sort of middle of October.
Perfect,
End
man.
of
And I think I spoke to you about this on Instagram as well. Just go and enjoy yourself, have this holiday.
Yeah, mate.
Prepare yourself mentally.
Exactly.
And then
it's what I
just come
deserve.
back.
To be fair.
For
Do you know
sure,
what?
man. Go
I
there,
don't want to
enjoy
say
yourself.
stuff like that. I'm not a big fan of being like, I deserve this. And all
Yeah,
that
but you
stuff,
have to remember,
hey,
you deserve something. It's for you. It's not for anyone else.
Exactly, and that's what I need. So
it's not for anyone else.
I can't wait. Invite me back on, mate, and I'll tell you all about it.
For sure.
And we can sit and be like, oh, look, mine looks like this. How does yours look? Oh, yeah, mine's
we can eat random things. You know, like it comes out different colours as well.
Yeah.
So
too much spinach, it'll go green.
Oh yeah, man. Like I got a juicer in it, so I put loads of green juice into it.
Yeah.
And yeah, I drink the juice. Obviously, you don't snort it. I drink the juice, and about 20-30 minutes later, literally like the same colour juice was coming out, bro. I've had it come out yellow. I've had it come out like bare random colours, man. Purple.
All the colours of the rainbow.
Trust me, man. Like Skittles. So yeah, man. Where's your surgery booked? What hospital?
East Surrey, Red Hill.
East Surrey, Red Hill.
Which is where I live, yeah. And it's literally like a mile down the road.
Oh, it's so chill,
which is so good. And again, that's why I was like, well, if I have surgery, then go on holiday. If I have all these complications out there, like the insurance is going to be ridiculous. If I have it after, I'll just go straight up the road. And I can see my consultant. I'll see Karen, see my IBD nurses and be like, yo, how we doing? Got a problem, help me out.
also, because it's so close to home, you could just go home pretty much soon.
Yeah,
you don't have to spend that much time in hospital.
Well, they've said literally for after surgery, because you're quite fit, we're going to get you walking around. And then, you know, if you don't need to be here, we're not going to keep you here.
Sick.
But yeah, man.
So let's plug yourself into your camera. Just let people know how they can get to you, how they can contact you.
Yeah.
And a little bit about, the rest of the year. Well, obviously, we know you're having the surgery, but as in, you got anything cool planned or?
Plan-wise. So, surgery is hopefully going to be October, November time. And yeah, I'm really looking forward to it. The surgery I'm having is a little bit like Moeed's, except I'm having a subcolectomy, so my colon's going to be fully removed. And once it's gone, there's no going back.
So they attach the end of the large intestine back?
No, they'll leave the stump. They'll do what you've done, have a little bag hanging out from your small intestine. And then they may reverse it later down the line, but we'll see.
Do they seal up your...
They won't to start with because they want to monitor it, but they can give me a Barbie bum later down the line.
So what's there's going to be nothing attached to it though?
No.
It's just going to be an open hole?
Well, it's like your normal bum hole, isn't it?
No, but as in then what's attached to the other end? Nothing.
So they'll just...
it's like a little stump at the end, isn't it? Oh, yeah, of course. It's not just going to be a gap. Yeah, of course. Yeah. I see what you mean.
But yeah, do that.
In the end.
Got holidays planned, which I'm really looking forward to. And then recover Christmas, then it's New Year.
So you're not actually going to use the bum then? Because nothing's going to be coming out of it. Because my stuff still comes out randomly in mine because my oil's attached. You're literally going to have nothing. Mad thing.
Maybe a bit of mucus occasionally.
Yeah.
Like anything. But hey, what's new? If you've got colitis and Crohn's, you always get mucus, man.
Exactly, man.
It's pointless.
Trust me.
Guys, it's been an absolute pleasure being on my
Would you plug
podcast.
yourself though?
I'm going to.
Okay,
I'm going to, bro. I was leading to that.
Yeah.
That's all good. It's been a pleasure being on my
Always welcome,
podcast,
bro. I'm excited to have you.
podcast.
I'm excited to have you back after surgery as well. Once you're fighting fit.
100%, mate. Mate, we'll meet up more. And just
free course meal. Otherwise, you're not coming back, fam. With you.
What do you want? Send me a menu.
Send me a
I'll
send you a menu, bro. Come down with me.
Come down with me. No, it's gonna be more like MasterChef.
Yeah.
We'll do that. Come and sit at chef's table.
High standards, bro. Oh my! I want some gourmet food.
He could do it.
But when I want gourmet, I don't want them little portions, fam. I'm talking
mate, it's not gonna be a tasting menu. Like amuse bouche and stuff. If anyone wants to chat with us about anything, you can find me, which is at IBD Fitness.
Is that on everything?
Pretty much everything,
Have you got Twitter and stuff as well?
I've got Twitter. My Twitter handle, though, is like Ant Andrews 1 or Ant_Andrews. I don't really use Twitter. It's mainly linked to Facebook and Instagram. Find me, Anthony Andrews, on Facebook as well.
So the main one is Instagram at
mainly.
IBD Fitness.
Yeah. I'll be doing many more YouTube videos. I'm going to get my vlog up and running again because I haven't done that in so long.
Good.
And yeah, I'm actually going to change it rather than it being
bit of a
fitness
rebrand,
orientated. It's going to be more to do with
lifestyle.
Yeah, so it'll be IBD Life in the next couple of months. So we're doing food, relationships, anything you want to talk about. We'll do it. So and then I'll get you guys to do more and put more into it. I'll plug this guy right here, my man.
So you obviously know this is the Puff Podcast. You can contact us on at the Puff Podcast on everything. This is going on SoundCloud, on YouTube. It's going to end up on the podcast app and on Spotify, inshallah.
I'm so gassed.
Yeah, bro, man. I'm so happy that I've managed to speak to Anne about this whole thing. Again, it's something that's really close to my heart that I've been through personally, and there's plenty of other people that have been through it as well who may not be as vocal as us two. So it'll be an opportunity for you to listen to this, to understand you're not alone, and there's plenty of other people you can contact and talk to as well. So
regardless, even if you have IBD or not, if you're going through something,
in
you're
life
going through anxiety, depression, whatever, doesn't matter what you have, it's the same community. Just come and chat to us. We're here to listen. We're here to help where we can.
Ears are open, doors are open.
Exactly. Unless I'm asleep.
Yeah.
Or
that's when you definitely.
If I'm eating, just like don't chat to me.
But yeah, man, thank you very much for joining us.
Mate, it's
bro.
been an absolute pleasure.
Love for that.
Really appreciate it.
Big up Sian again for manning the cams and stuff behind the scenes. This has been the This has been the Puff Podcast, episode 2. Next week, another very special guest. I won't reveal it yet, but I'm super gassed for the direction of for this whole thing, this whole project. It's been hard work getting here.
Worked hard, man. You deserve it.
But we're here now, man. So yeah, bro. Big up. Mad love to everyone. Enjoy the rest of your week, and same time next week. Yeah.
Great bank holiday weekend, guys.
Come on.
Much love. See you soon.